Y'all, we're going to hit on a topic today, y'all, that's very important. And it's a mindset, y'all, of understanding one another. And what we're talking about is, what is a friend of Yah, or who is a friend of Yah, or who can become a friend of Yah? Who was called a friend of Yah? And the script lists how you become a friend of Yah, because you have to be his friend, y'all. If y'all understand what I'm saying, like you hear a lot of people throw this smooth soliloquy out there. God is my best friend, but my mother or my father is my best earthly friend. If you even gave a tenth of the love you gave to your mother to Yah, then that would be understood in that order. But to truly love him, to become his friend, y'all, it's a work we must complete, called a work of righteousness with faith. Faith without works is what? Yeah. So we can fix our mouth to say anything, y'all, but we have to walk a good walk. Well, y'all, we just fooling ourselves. Y'all, these are trying times now. There's a lot of things taking place in the world, y'all. But just know we're one day closer to Holy Jerusalem. And y'all, we're going to go ahead and start like we always do. Anything on y'all heart, mind, or soul out there that may have troubled you through the week, before we get started on our lesson, anything on your heart, mind, or soul. And y'all, what we're talking about is understanding what we teach as a body, a church body, y'all, because we have to be in one mindset. If we got 50 different mindsets up in here, we got problems then. Y'all, we schizophrenic then. What? Because we're going to have it talking out at the wrong time, like you got Tourette's syndrome. Y'all, it's a lot of medium out there. What we call, you know, Facebook and Twitter and all of the other chats that are out there. Y'all, then we get a lot of doctrine flying through the wind, and soon as somebody sees somebody on there they go. So y'all, we always ask the question, y'all, and we have to remember this as a church body. If anybody say anything about what we teach is online. If what's online is not in agreeable fashion with what you heard, don't listen to it. Don't care who it is. Don't care what they say. We can't be hypocrites to our body. So what's down here, because this is no reform, ain't no screen calls or nothing. Ain't no screen questions. They get answered as it is written with a two-rule establishment. Two-witness rule establishment. So anything on your heart, mind, or soul, you can ask down here. And as a body, we'll agree and say amen. That goes up on the website of what we teach, so that it will be easier for you when you hear something that don't sound right to you. Just ask any other individual to say, if it's part of this camp, if that's what we teach. Even if somebody's talking about somebody else, you need to check them to see if they know what we teach. We got in-house problems with people not knowing what we teach. And the main thing while we're on this, supposed to be a friend of Yah, we got to be friends with each other. That's right. And a friend knows what a friend will do. I'm talking about a true partner. So y'all, we're going to get into this, and we're going to get some good understanding today. Y'all got no questions or concerns out there? Nobody got no questions or concerns? We're going to rock and roll. We're going to start off in John the 15th chapter, y'all. And we're going to get some understanding today of our friendship and the hospitality that we have to have amongst one another.
And can y'all go to words just a little bit?
Better?
Yep.
John 15, verse 12.
Everybody there, have a look. And y'all, these ain't suggestions, y'all. These are commandments how we're supposed to treat one another. Y'all, we have to be a set-apart people and show the rest of the world what set-apart means. If we ain't doing it, y'all, we just might as well go back to the world. Because what you're practicing for is an internal existence that's where everybody is pious. Your best friend. Everybody there is going to be bestnesses of friends. Bestnesses. Yeah.
I'll be
Ain't going to be nobody who got to worry about in the kingdom. Oh, here this nigga.
say no.
Free of that. Oh, no, none of that. No big Twitter twist talk. Man, I know.
John 15, verse 12. This is in King James 16, 11. Read. So this is HONORANDHUMILITYSTL talking.
Yes, sir.
This is my commandment.
This is my what?
My commandment.
So this is not a suggestion or a philosophy of what you think about this. This is a what?
My commandment.
And what is a commandment? An ordinance, which is a what? Law. A law. Rule. Rule. Go ahead.
That ye love one another.
That we do what?
Love one another.
Y'all, now does this mean everybody you got to be able to hug like that? No, but you got to be at least to the point that where nobody will be able to tell that y'all got anything going on between you if you did. Especially in the assembly. And this is what we're talking about our body. So one would have to say, if I'm kind of feeling that way, they have to stay at home. Can't bring that to the rest of the body so somebody asks why your mouth poked out. What's the matter? Go ahead, brother.
That ye love one another.
Right.
As I have loved you.
As he have done what?
As I have loved you.
Right, look. Satan don't love us. So let's get that understood clearly. The Messiah said, I have loved you. If he did, he wouldn't have laid his life down. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
There's no greater love than this, y'all. Now what does that mean? That a man lay down his life for his friends. Y'all, what the Messiah did was prophesied of him in Isaiah 53, Micah 4th chapter, all of the scriptures of laying down his life for his friends. Y'all, if we treat somebody like that, like anybody could have done that. You sneeze at it. You sneeze at it. Y'all, that was our friend. That is our friend. That Psalm 144 that we opened with prove is our friend. To lay down your life. Now we hear about all of the toughness. Some of y'all have been in the gangs. Y'all have lied about how I got your back. They ain't been at the workhouse for 12 hours and you won't answer the phone. No commissary. That nigga he home. Tell him I took a second job. No, you thought those were your friends. You got to have spiritual friends. Spiritual friends understand if you come into them with a fleshly problem. They will get a handle on that fleshly problem and raise your mind back to the spiritual on how to deal with that problem. That's what a friend will do. Now, a slick hater, Gonna say, if it was me, I would do this and go to jail for the rest of my life. Or be on the run for the rest of my life. What kind of advice is that?
That's darkness. It's darkness.
First we're going to rob the 7-Eleven, get $200, then we're going to go on the run to work. You couldn't get past Six Flags with $200. Read some more, brother.
Verse 14. Ye are my friends. And if you do whatsoever I command you, henceforth I call you not servants. For the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth.
Go back to that verse 14 and read that again for me.
Yes, ye are my friends.
Right?
If ye do whatsoever I command you.
You see how you become a friend?
Keeping the commandments.
Read that a little bit louder for me.
Ye are my friends. If ye do whatsoever I command you, henceforth I call you not servants.
So if we're doing anything opposite of that, who friend are we?
Yeah, the same.
Yeah. Read some more.
For the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
Now that's a friend. The Father who knoweth all revealed it to his Son, which is the Word made flesh. And he revealed it to us, y'all. Do you know what type of brotherhood, the brotherhood of the Messiah or partners that we connected with, that inform you of all things, where you're never left in the dark? I'm talking about you could be and have all the lights on in your house, 100-watt bulbs and everything. You ain't putting more than 100 watt in a house. But if you step outside in the sunshine at 12 noon, you'll see what brightness is. But then he says, at my coming, my brightness is 10,000 times the sun in its strength. So there will be nothing you can hide from. He's going to look right through to your soul. Because he's using a weapon of war, spiritual war, that allows him to look deep inside. Hold that, hit that Hebrews 4:12 for me. One of y'all. So we understand exactly what he's working with that allows you to be able to do this. And he said, I'll share that power with y'all. If y'all do what?
Keep my commandments.
Keep my commandments.
All right, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12.
Yeah.
Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of Yah is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword.
It's sharper than what?
Any two-edged sword.
Now y'all think about a two-edged sword. Y'all looking at all these razors for shaving, double blades and that. Yeah. No, you can have 4 or 5 blades, but when you get down to it, it cuts on one side or the other. And this one is sharper than any of them. Go ahead, Matt.
Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
Y'all see how deep the word of the Most High, how deep it cuts through the soul and the dividing the spirit, asunder, split in half. Go ahead.
And of the joints and marrow.
And of the joints and marrow. Do y'all understand what the marrow is?
Bone marrow.
That's the center of the bone or the center of the skeleton. Your most inner being. That's where the blood resides, or the so-called good blood. That if someone had cancer, they after the bone marrow. To straighten it out, they're saying we need to go all the way from the depths of it to try to revive it. Go ahead. That's what the Most High asked in these bones later. And then muscle was put on top of it. But the bones have to live first. Right. And there's life in the marrow. Some of y'all have tasted marrow out of chicken. When you ain't had enough, you just keep on chewing. And crack that bone, that meat in there. Marrow. Go ahead.
And is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
You see what it is? It's a discerner of the thoughts of the intents of the heart. So what the Most High is saying, his power knows what you were thinking before you put your hand to it, and that's what the level he's going to judge at. From that perspective. So don't ever think you got away with it, because he's going to look into your thoughts. Y'all look, this system is looking into your thoughts now, but it can only do it after you put forth your hand and type in something. And then try to take it back. But guess what? When you hit send, you can't do what? Unbreak the bed. It's gone into cyberspace, and now you have to pay the price because your conscience is online. Go ahead, go ahead, man.
Verse 13. Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
See, all things are naked. Meaning that he's the covering for everything. Without him, you naked. Every creature. So what is this telling you? The commandment he gave the animals, day one. You are in charge of all the animals on planet Earth. Everything bows to you. You the king of planet Earth. Till he tripped. Let's get back to that John. Did we finish that up?
John 15.
Yeah. Where we at on that?
We finished 15.
Okay.
16.
Let's read verse 16. Yeah. I want you to read down to 7. Verse 18. Yeah, read down to verse 18.
John 15, verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you.
In whose name?
In my name.
And where did he get his name?
From the Father.
So we understand if it ain't from the Father, y'all ain't gonna even entertaining it. Don't even open the door. For what?
Can you take that down to 21?
Take that to 21, but go ahead.
Hey, but look, trip off that verse 16. We were saying you have not chosen me.
Right.
I have chosen you. It's a spirit going around like, you know, I found the Lord in 1970.
Right, absolutely.
As if he was the one that was lost. He tell you right here, I do the choosing.
Right.
You feel me? Not you, I chose you. Right? He was never lost, we was lost. You understand? So that's something else to trip off of as well. I chose you. I do the picking. I do the ordaining. Some folks say they ordained ministers.
That's right.
You feel me? Because they got a piece of paper from the state that say they graduated theology school with that. But we see the Most High do the choosing, the picking, and he the one that ordained.
That's right.
Not some curriculum from the state.
You know, that also goes with like when you put in work with somebody. When you get done and you walk away from them, you like, I did my job, Lord. Now it's your choice. If you want them, you know, just like when the disciples were, when the Messiah ascended into heaven and the angel said, why y'all men stand gazing? He said that after they did all the miracles and healing the sick and feeding the poor, all that they did, he said, and the Lord added to the church.
Yeah.
Right.
About 2,000 or 3,000.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Let me read this too right here. Y'all write this down. John 6, verse 43 to 44 to back that up. John 6, verse 43, my bad, to 45.
43 to 45?
Yeah, 43 through 45. All right, John 6 and 43. Yahushua therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not among yourselves.
Do what?
Murmur not among yourselves.
Y'all, there means no grumbling between us, y'all. If we mumbling and grumbling between each other, what is an outsider going to say? They know how to get your focus off. Just start the mumbling and grumbling. That work is done.
Right, you're complaining.
Go ahead.
Verse 44. No man can come to me. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him. And I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets. It is written in the prophets. And they shall be all taught of Yah.
Yeah.
Every man therefore that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me.
Y'all see this? So when you learn of the Father, y'all, this is a different thing. We're not talking about, I done had a bad week. I think I need to get me a little churchy. Look, I mean, that's on both sides. When you was in your Christian life or in this life, you think that's all it's going to take is 2 hours somewhere. You're going to be back into your yourself. No, you fooling yourself. If the only time you come is when trouble is on your back, you're not thinking correctly. Go ahead, brother. That was it? Okay.
John 15, verse 17. These things I command you, that ye love one another.
See how he keeps saying that's a commandment? Y'all, when we talk about, you know, we war with each other about different things, is it this or is it that? Why don't you ever hear, y'all, we commanded to love each other? Why we scrap it like this in house? Right. Who gonna keep that commandment? Right. If we just brought that out right at the beginning, well, should the argument stop? Yeah. It should. But we seem to be getting away from that commandment a whole lot. Go ahead, brother.
If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. That's right. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you.
So, y'all gonna hear all of the things that make you question, should I keep on down this road? Well, I'm being hated. And people will tell you, the only reason you like that because you done joined up with them Hebrews. That's why everybody hates you.
Talking all that Bible stuff.
Y'all, but if we don't keep his commandments, y'all, it could be all that old Bible stuff. If you teaching old Bible stuff, and that's just hollering out, I love the law, but don't know how to walk that walk. Anybody can fix their mouth to say anything, y'all. And if you don't self-check yourself, that's what your rearview mirror for. You need to be seeing where you're going, not where you came from. But when you look in that rearview mirror and you see that same old man appearing again, you need to cuss him out and keep him behind you. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours as yours also. So, y'all, this is what we want to understand.
If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Look, the world is keeping his saying because he's the most talked about individual that ever hit planet Earth. It ain't a book nowhere you can get today talked about anybody. Ain't nothing ever compared to anything other than this book. Where have y'all heard, and that flood? It was of Quran proportions. That those devastating flies and earthquakes. The book of the dead of Egypt. No, whenever you see or hear about those type of things, they say it's a biblical portion. As it was in the days of Noah, as it was this, y'all. So it's going out in the world. No matter what you do about it, there ain't nothing that can really stop it. It will never come back forward. Go ahead.
21. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me.
We can hold that. Let's get right over to some James chapter 2. Y'all, and then we're going to get into, see y'all, we on the spiritual side of love. But we're going to get into how one with this simple flesh that we have can attain this love amongst brothers and sisters.
James chapter 2.
And y'all, you see all these things the Messiah was saying. He was saying them outside of the house going to be at you. So the deal would be, why ain't the phone line blowing up about people outside messing with us? We blowing it up about each other. We ain't got a chance to see how outside gonna treat you yet. Right. Unless you're just watching the Black Lives Matter movement on the news. Go ahead. James chapter 2, about verse 23.
James chapter 2, verse 23.
Unless you need to back it up a little bit. 17. 17?
14.
Alright, I'm gonna be back up to verse 1 in a minute.
Right. Don't stop it. But it's good, y'all. It's good for understanding.
James chapter 2, verse 14.
Yes, sir.
What doeth it profit, my brethren, that a man say he have faith and have not works? Faith save him.
See, so now this erases all of those what we call holy name rollers. If you don't say the Lord's name like this, you're doomed. That's all I have to say is his name, and I'm doomed. That without works is what? Let's read.
What doeth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him?
That's a question.
Yes, it is.
You got no works, can faith save him? That's the question. Read some more.
If a brother or sister be naked,
If a brother or sister be what?
naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warm and filled.
See, so what nakedness are we talking about first? What form of nakedness are we talking about first?
That's the word. Always spiritual first.
Always spiritual. So if a brother is naked and destitute, meaning that they don't have any knowledge of the Father or the Son in his mercy and grace, they are naked and destitute. You can give them the flyest garments of Tommy Hilfiger of Egypt. He's still naked in the marrow of the bone that we just read about. Go ahead, brother.
And one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warm and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body. What doeth it profit?
See, what is needful to the body? Is it the inner or the outer? When you sick, where you sick from?
Inside.
The inside. You have to get those things that are what this is called healing medicine. Yo, it ain't costing you nothing to be the doctor. All you got to do is transfer the power of it to the needy, to a brother or a sister. You don't cast this pearl before swine. I'm talking about somebody that say, you can take that Bible and you can stick it. No. They don't need you wasting your time or come around here talking about they made me so mad. You should have been long gone before you heard that.
That type of conversation goes sideways.
Yeah, you've been there for a long time just arguing. You was waiting till they get to a point where they say something so you feel like I'm going to hit him in his jawbone. Go ahead.
James chapter 2, verse 17. Even so faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone.
So y'all see this? Faith without works. And then they keep going to Ephesians. Well, we're not saved by works lest any man should boast. Well, I'm not saved by works alone, lest any man should boast. You got to have faith with works.
That's right.
And work both ways.
That's right.
You believe with all your heart and soul, the first commandment. And then you got to do the work to prove that you believe that. You think you can just say it and go sit down and change the channel? That's it. I'm done. I said it. Yeah. Now it's time for a little TV and crumpets. Tea and crumpets. If it was that easy, y'all, why we down here? That's right. Go ahead.
James chapter 2, verse 17. Even so faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
How is he going to show you his faith? you're going to walk the walk. Talking is easy.
And y'all should highlight that too.
Yeah.
Faith without works is dead. Like highlight that, because there's a lot of folks out here that love to pull the faith card out and say, look, I got faith. I don't know nothing about no commandments. I don't have to keep no commandments. You feel me? We read faith without works is dead.
Right.
So you saying the Lord came and died to give you dead faith.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to have no work to prove your faith. You feel me? You're just saying, I believe.
Right.
I got the faith. You feel me? A lot of people in the Sunday doctrine, that's what they do. They say, run the faith. I got the faith. Grace. Mercy. You don't say nothing about no commandments. Don't say something about commandments or rules to this. Then it's all like, oh no, so you tripping, I got faith.
Right.
We reading right here that their line of thinking is off. Ain't Johnny from the New Testament?
Some people think that their works is paying tithes.
Yeah, like and many other things, and you know, giving sandwiches, ham sandwiches out of there.
Yeah.
You feel me? The work that you're supposed to do is be in order according to the Lord.
That's right.
You feel me? Like if you got the faith in the Most High, but you still murdering, how does your work prove that you believe in the Lord?
That's right.
Right.
You feel me? So it's more than just lip service. Matthew 7 going there too. Lip service. I love the Lord. He's like, look, if you don't do what my Father told you to do, you're not going to see the kingdom. So the question is, what did the Father command you to do?
That's right.
You feel me? We figure that out, then we...
Can't nobody keep the commandments. Which one? That's all y'all have to ask. Just don't start. I'm going to take you to some James 5. No, just say, which one? Because all they're going to do is tell you the one that they're struggling with. You say, well, okay, let's get at that one. Let's see why that's a problem. But you're going to hear sides. You can keep all of them.
I can't stop feeling.
All the question we're going to ask is why.
What? Klepto. Anything for free, player. Brother in question got in the back, got a question. So,
I have a question about the man. My cousin is to the family church where the case is. And I was just talking about, you know what I'm saying, before eating, like about unclean food.
Right.
So we got this man, and he's like, we know this thing called the New Testament. You got to excuse me, I ain't too knowledgeable about the Bible. He was like, you know what I'm saying, like, that covers, like, you know what I'm saying, some supposed to cover, like, he ain't got the word.
Right. Blood of the lamb. Cover. Right.
So he's saying that if you wanted the new covenant, you ain't got to observe the commandments. Observe the commandments. Right? So now trip off this. We'll go to the scripture in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Right. We're about to get to it. You're about to get it. So write it down. Hebrews 8, verse 8 through 13. And that's about the new covenant. It says right in there, new covenant. I'm under the new covenant. Okay. Let's go read about the new covenant that you're going to see. What it applied to.
Right.
And if it's about you can just do away with the commandments. You understand? So that Hebrews 8, verse 8 through 13, go right into it. And then when you go back and build with your people, give them that right there. Right? And then make them show you, well, explain to me the new covenant without the commandments of God.
Right.
You understand? You got to pull it up back there? You want to read it real quick? Okay, that's what's up.
Go ahead, we got it. Oh, you just holler it out for me.
I mean, we can read it real quick.
Read that real quick. Y'all, why we go over this, y'all, is because you got to have an answer. You have to study to answer. Just like he had that question, there has to be an answer for everything they say. Don't take them to another scripture. You have to deal with the problem at hand.
Right.
You can't go over here once they say that. You have to deal with it right here with what they're saying. In the New Testament. Okay, let's go to the New Testament. So that they have you, what you're doing is you're disarming. They got a 6-shooter, okay, you're taking all the bullets out. All they can be able to do is click, 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 click. Go ahead, brother.
Reading from the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 8.
What it says?
For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of
Who
Israel.
we gonna make that covenant with?
The house of Israel.
Okay.
And with the house of Yahudah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt.
So it's not going to be after the order of Aaron.
Right.
So let's get that straight. It will not be a schoolmaster type of teaching. What we're finna do is elevate this new covenant to the way it was in the beginning. Magna cum laude, spiritual righteousness. This is what you got to start training for. If y'all don't, y'all just going to be an army of murmurers. Go ahead.
Because they continued not in my covenant.
What did they do?
They continued not in my covenant.
Go ahead.
And I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Most High. I will put my laws into their mind and write them.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
Put my laws into their mind.
So the new covenant got to do with the laws being on your mind.
That's right.
You feel me? So he wouldn't be saying I'm under the new covenant and then saying I can be lawless at the same time.
Right.
That don't make sense. So when you go back and deal with him, read that slowly to him, and then it'll slowly start sinking in. There was something wrong with my line of thinking.
Right.
I always thought the new covenant meant I could be lawless and just believe in Jesus and everything's going to be A-okay.
And understand what he's saying. He's using the word lawless. You would be lawless if you ran through every red light and stop sign and ran in the store and snatched what you want and took off running. You know that that's lawless in the streets. So y'all, in like manner, you think you're going to walk the streets of the kingdom with that mindset?
Yeah.
With murmuring on your mind? What are you practicing for if you don't understand what the law of righteousness is about? The only thing you learn is what you're learning in the streets.
Yeah.
Y'all, that's what the sidewalks for. Get out the streets.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, we coming to you. Let's finish off with this film. We're coming right to you. Go ahead. Now, you see the new covenant, right? You see the new covenant. You see who it applied to. And it's the laws of the Most High on your mind. And in your heart and your mind. You understand? Go ahead, bro. Finish it up.
I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be to them an El, and they shall be to me a people.
You're talking about these same people we made that old covenant with. So the new covenant applies to the same group of people the old covenant applied to. It's just the laws ain't on the stones no more with Moses, they on your mind.
That's right.
All right, go ahead, Al.
Verse 11. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
Yeah, this day ain't even all the way fulfilled yet.
That's right.
This still ain't even came all the way into fruition. We in transition mode right now, practicing for that.
That's right.
Because if this had been fulfilled, none of us would be down here right now. Getting taught or even teaching. For they all shall know me. Right? Go ahead, Al.
For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more.
Lord, talking about wiping our slate completely clean.
And you know why? Because he's put it on our mind and in our heart. So when he do it, the work is a sealed deal. It can't come back void from that perspective, but you got to get there to where you get your diploma. And you graduate. You can't graduate not knowing your last.
Right. You say, boy, show up the first day of high school, talking about you graduate.
You graduate the first day of high school.
And he got your credit.
You looking for a cap and down. You ain't got nary your credit.
Never.
They say, I'm looking for you reading your thing. What a stage at? That's how simple they want it, and you just thinking the majority of the people that are saying that are the ones just saying, man, I had a bad week. I think I'm going to go to church this Sunday. I think I'm going to go to Bible study this Saturday. You think all them problems going to be solved in 2 hours? And when you walk right out the door, if the same madness pop right back in your mind, you just wasted a whole day. Go ahead, brother. You got some more of that in good.
Verse 13. In that he said, a new covenant he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
See, it's ready to vanish away. So it's still some work to do for the people out here. Yo, that's why we still have to have the entire Bible. That's why we have to, because it ain't gone yet. Right. It's ready to vanish away. But it gives the instructions on how to deal with life. It's almost gone, y'all. But you got to practice how to get it up here. Because soon a famine is coming for this.
That's right. That's right.
They taking all Bibles. What we was reading earlier about the world is going to hate you. If you got this with what the world is heading to, with what we're seeing out there now, all of the laws being looked upon and spat upon, same-sex issue, bestialities on the books now.
Yeah. They doing satanic invocations too with all the little city council meetings.
Absolutely.
Florida, Alaska. You feel me? They straight invoking this bastard. Like straight up. They putting more Baphomet statues up. You feel me? Like those that worship the devil for real, it's gonna be past the spookism talk there. Everybody talking about that's the boogeyman. No. Those that worship the devil for real are getting down in this hour. Getting down.
What is that French store now? This
What store?
they complying every day with a different rule. That French store, Target. They just put in what kind of bathroom?
Gender neutral.
Gender neutral bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
They got unisex clothing section.
Unisex clothing section, so they are running the gamut. They say we on board with this.
And they lose it. Did you hear that their sales and everything is dropping?
They ain't worried about them dropping sales, not right now, because when the world order change, they gonna be in there.
Hey, they in the city council meeting saying hell to HaShatan. They won't walk in their black robe looking like Dracula. Like, there was a few evangelical Christians in there trying to say the Lord's Prayer under their breath. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He told the old boy that the city councilman, like, hey, you need to silence them. You know what I'm saying? He got up and grabbed his gavel, like, I'm going to have to clear this on out. They're like, y'all gonna be quiet while he invokes Satan? They like, no! I'll clear this whole session out then. And they just sat there and you know, mumbled under their breath.
Right.
While he sat up there and sang to his God. You feel me? In the end, said, hell, HaShatan. You feel me? Then they did one in Alaska, one in Florida. They started to do that.
Protected by law.
Yeah.
From this land.
You could be a practicing witch and walk right up in there. Well, since your laws cover all religious beliefs, freedom of religion, good old USA, right? You ain't thinking that apply even to the cat that's a witch, the cat that's an atheist, the cat that worships the devil for real. So these same laws, just freedom of religion, apply to anybody. And you thought that was righteous. You know, I live in good old USA, the land of freedom. I got freedom of religion. Not thinking that one day somebody could slide right on in and worship the devil, and guess what? That same law you passed protect him now. So
that's right.
And it's happening all over the country. Madness. So this thing is on live in effect, right in your face. You feel me? You can either keep playing around with it. The Cartoon Network, they're putting all type of homosexual and satanic stuff.
Yeah.
And you put your children right, shut up, watch TV. And you put on the Cartoon Network.
Hopefully, to God, you don't put on Mr. Cook.
Y'all look that up. Mr. Cook. Oh, yes. Y'all look that up.
Find no shorties in here.
Yeah, Mr. Pickle.
So they'll be YouTube.
Yeah.
Wives of the week. Y'all, so what we're talking about now, y'all, is eat from the tree of good and evil. That once knew good, now is evil. And y'all, what it's called is the internet. You can pull up any scripture you need on the internet. You can Google it. You can also Google up the most vile behavior on earth. Why does the Lord love these scriptures? You get big black of Atlanta. and the cell phone. You keep both of them at your touch. You can't live without that. Leave this at home and need already 2 points left at work. You 5 minutes for work, but realize you done left this. If you that hooked on this now, y'all, we got some problems. Y'all seen a movie called Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all ever get a chance? There's a movie called The Kings. It's going to start here, y'all, because this is going to be attached to you. You can't let it go. You got GPS. You do everything with this. And guess what else it does? Track you.
And listen to you.
Every photo you take is longitude and latitude tells where that picture was taken.
Apps is wicked. Like you can have an app on your phone and not even be using your phone and have a conversation with your phone in the room.
Yeah.
Next time you in Google, your phone will advertise what you were talking about when you wasn't on your phone. Pay attention to what
y'all see that?
Because those apps control your recordings, your voices, the sounds, all of that, even when you're not using it.
Voice activated.
Location.
Start talking about shoes. They go on Facebook.
All of the host
Start seeing
are hooked up to it. You can see everything that's going on. Doorbell ring, you get a hit. Who was that?
See you standing on your porch.
Come back later.
You ain't even at home.
Y'all, so we need to understand, y'all, where we're at. This is why we got to practice it, getting it up here. You got to know it up here. So when all of this is gone, we got to be able to communicate spiritually. And know what somebody sound like, bro having a problem. I need to try to make my way that way. We need to get to that mindset without figuring out we got to need this, y'all. Look, but the good side of this, you can make a quick call now. Your connection to the world is always at your hip. But y'all, we got to get back to what has always been, and that's just spiritual communication to understand what's going on in one another. When you say, "Now, I was just thinking about you when you called," that's the spiritual connection. That makes you think for a second. Man, that's spooky. I was just thinking about him. He called. So y'all, that's where it's going to be on a whole nother level if you keep these commandments, because when they take all of this, all they did is just, they can't take what's on the inside. Where we at? What verse? We done that Hebrews 8:8. Back that up with 1 John chapter 2, verse 1 through 3.
Go ahead, bro. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm going right now.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 7.
Well, look, see, when we go through that, look, now, this is how much they say they love the Messiah. You can tell them that same Matthew 5 you're talking about, and they don't want to believe it. Matthew 5:17.
I mean, after they said, after I went to Matthew chapter 5, they kept saying, well, he said he walked. So I took them to 1 John chapter 2,
right.
But they ain't have no response like that, whatever.
Right, see, that's good. That's good. You ain't got to say no more. You know, at that point, you don't have to say anymore. So, y'all, this is what we understand, that knowing how to be a soldier in a war that has thousands of battles that you'll be facing throughout your lifetime. There's a lot of battles within war. You're battling to conquer this area and to conquer that area. And you first got to start with the battle with your own flesh. And you have to conquer your flesh. If you don't conquer your flesh, y'all, you're wasting your time and trying to help me conquer mine. Y'all see, when the script say, the man that turneth the sinner from his ways hides a multitude of sins, did it say his sins or the sinner's sins, or did it just say his sins? See, you think that that's for me. If I turn him on, then I hide my sins like, ooh. No, he ain't going to let us play a trade-off deal.
Boy, I was sinning. I need to turn a few Hebrews on to get ready.
Hey, brother, do you know about HONORANDHUMILITYSTL? No.
Right, I was wicked as all hell last night.
But I did last night. I got to join somebody to church. No, you can't do it for that. What that means is that when you hide a multitude of sin, his is gone and yours should be gone, because whatever you told him, you for sure can't let him see you doing that. So you know everything that I just told him, I got to mark them off of the list if I was doing it, because I just went over them with it. That's why it's a multitude, because it's all of yours and all of his that you done went over it with. You just say, when you teach yourself. Yeah. So I just told myself I can't do none of what I just told him.
You acknowledge it right wrong.
I messed around and slipped and said, help me to that. If you feel in that way, you got some serious problems. Yeah. Because that's the lust. That's the one that Satan knows you like. Where we at? 1 John chapter 2, verse 1 through 5. Y'all ain't gonna get right back on the lesson.
And write this one down too, bro.
Yes, sir.
Back there in the back. Let's go get him.
You take that, bro. You take that. Yeah. See, and see, bro, these are the questions. See, like you say, if you try to go to the old law on this point, back to what brother see Exodus such, keep them right there where they trust it. See, and they ain't even trusting the letters in red anymore. Yeah. They superseded with Paul writings now. Paul ain't just red lettering. But see, now Paul said,
Paul ain't do it.
So keep them where Paul said, because Paul won't refer to the red letters. Right. Go ahead, brother.
Revelation 22, verse 14.
Yes, sir.
The end of the matter.
The end of the matter.
Hey, the last chapter of the book.
Last chapter.
But see, they're told not to go into Revelation. But look, the word ain't going to come back void. It ain't a prophet or a scribe in this Bible that's going to misinterpret the letters of the law or its wording or content for their sakes. Stay in Paul in. He ain't going to do nothing but tell you the same thing. Right. Make them say Paul is contradicting himself. Because that's what you're going to have. Romans 7 and 7, Romans 6 and 6, and he said the law is good and holy. How can it then be done away with the verse you just read? Oh, Paul contradicts himself. That's what you're saying.
Or you just don't understand what he's saying.
You don't understand what Paul's saying.
You're trying to soundbite them together.
Right.
Like somebody on Galatians and Ephesians, you soundbite them, man. Finish reading what he's saying.
That's right.
He gonna clear up the matter because he already know what he said, clear you for a loop. And trip off that he's a scholar.
Yeah.
Nobody down here no scholars. This man was a scholar.
Right.
So how you attempting to read some law books because you don't know nothing about legalese? That's what he say, Chinese. What are you talking about? Right. That's law talk. How you rapping about that but don't know nothing about it? I speak to those that know the law. He told you that. So if you already running away from the law, what you doing reading Paul's letters?
Right.
I'm only speaking to those that know what I'm talking about.
Right. That's what Paul said. Them that know the law. So, where do you come in being lawless or telling everybody to be lawless? That same Matthew 5 says, those that refuse to keep the law shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven, or the last. Get that. Shalom, brother. Let's get this 1 John chapter 2. That's in 1 John, y'all, not regular John. 1 John chapter 2.
The book of 1 John.
Book of Nurse.
Chapter 2, verse 1.
We're going to verse 8.
My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not.
That you do what?
Sin not.
If Christ finished this on the cross, these words would not be in there. Right. That ye sin not, my children.
Right.
That ye sin not. If that's done, why is he repeating himself again? Right. Unless you're going to say, well, that part, see, pastor say. Go ahead.
And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Yeshua HaMashiach, the righteous.
The who?
The righteous.
The righteous, the law people. We got an advocate that we can go to. If any man sin, what is sin according to 1 John 3 and 4?
Transgression of the law.
So if there's no sin, if he did that, then there's no law. So why are you going to church then? What you getting up every Sunday for? Go ahead, sis.
Could you go back for a minute when you said if Christ died on the cross, what is something for? You was making a statement pertaining to that what you were saying.
If sin was done away with.
If sin was done away with, right.
If sin was done away with.
After he was on the cross. Because they say he fulfilled the law. He took care of all of my sins as well.
Okay.
You know, so they say that, look, that's done. He did that work. He did that. He fulfilled the law. Okay, sin is transgression of the law. The two have to go together like faith and works. Sin is without no law, there can be no sin.
Okay.
Because sin is the transgression of the law. If there ain't no rules, it can't be no sin.
Or judgment.
Or no judgment.
I mean, everybody get a free pass, even the devil.
Right, so you can't go to church every day and war against somebody that it ain't no law you say is gone. How you gonna be attacking the devil? And it ain't no law.
Or telling folks to get saved, get out the streets, roll up your pants, get out the strip club, get saved, right? You telling people to do all that, but tell them in the same breath they ain't got to keep the commandments. Like, how does that work? Like, how do you tell somebody get out the streets to stop gang banging, but you an idolater? You feel me? Like, you straight got singing to the Christmas tree and going on Easter egg hunts and, you feel me? False Sabbaths on Sundays and you like, how are you telling folks to get your life together, boy, and get saved? But then he's like, all right, I believe, now what I do?
Right.
Let's come to church every Sunday and sit in the front pew.
Right.
Pay the pastor the tithes. That's it. Walk this all the way out to the kingdom.
Right.
That ain't what this is talking about. The Bible says something totally different. Right. So sin is still in the world. If sin is still in the world, that means we still must keep the commandments so we can battle against sin. Right. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't in one breath say it ain't no law. And then a little brother heard that and say, oh, okay, all I have to believe in Jesus. I can stay in the streets.
Right.
I can still be a criminal. What is a criminal? Somebody that breaks the law.
Right.
I can be a criminal in these streets. All I got to do is believe in Jesus and I'm saved. I'm good.
Right. And they'll argue at that point. No, see, because you got to do right. Well, what is doing right? What the Lord wants you to do, well, what is that called? And just keep working. They'll finally get to the point of law. See, it becomes grievous to them because they're being taught to break, not to acknowledge it. Romans 4:15, where there's no law, there's no sin. And if you're saying the law is done away with, then there's no sin. Ain't no need you wasting your breath on me. Right. And you get up and go to church, see, you have to practice for what? It's done. That's what you just said. What I'm a practice for. That's like you at the Super Bowl in your seat and somebody come up and you paid for that ticket just about an hour ago. Well, something else came out. You need to pay for it again. If you already in the game, what you keep paying for it for? If I'm already saying what I'm spending my wheels for, it's a waste of time. It's like the Jehovah's Witness teach that there ain't no lake of fire in some Israelite camp. It ain't no lake of fire. When you done, that's it. Well, what am I worried about? What's my punishment? I'm gonna get with the devil.
Right.
And the devil gonna be like, show me that again.
Right.
If it ain't nothing, what I'm worried about?
Why ain't you a full-time criminal?
Why I'm going to church? What you going for? Who you trying to prove something to about what? And tell me what are the things that you are doing so I can look at. So the things that you are doing is in the Bible how to live after you say. There's rules in that end. And what are rules? See, you can keep getting them back to it. But what they're only talking about is we're not under the order of Aaron anymore. No more sacrificial law. We don't sacrifice animals for our sin no more. They shouldn't have to pay the price for what we keep on doing. Because the state we in right now and what's coming up on the world, we will be out of animals. Don't y'all know if we cause a problem for the bees and the bee pollen and all of this stuff, the world is in trouble? I I mean, that's why he talks about the things and talks about honey and different things. Compare life, everlasting life to honey and learning to milk. Honey is the only food source on planet Earth that never spoils. Get you a jar of 3,000-year-old honey, and it tastes just like the sous and snooks that they put on the shelf yesterday. It never spoils. And bees are born grown. Just like some of us, if we make it to the kingdom, you'll be born grown. Just like you was when you died, but in brand new skin. With a white robe on. Huh? Like you are now, you grown man, right? Right. You be born again grown. Nicodemus asked, how can a man be born again? Can he enter into his mother's womb again? I hope not. Especially if so you can be born again as a grown man through spirit. Right. And into the kingdom, when you're resurrected, it's going to be how, whatever size you were at age when you died. Let's get it. Where we at?
We're in the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 2. And he is the propitiation for our sins.
Or when it's that word.
That means propitiation. What that mean? The atonement or the sacrifice for our sins.
For our sins. So sin is still on the table. Go ahead and read more.
And not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
Yes, sir.
And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
If we do what?
Keep his commandments.
So how can you know the Most High if you don't know his commandments? How do you say I'm saved and you don't know what his commandments are? It's impossible to say I know him and you don't keep his commandments and you're taught every Sunday. That was nailed to the cross. Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar.
Is a what?
Is a liar.
What is a liar? What is he doing? What is that called when we lie? And what is that called? A liar. And what is that called? A what? A what? A sin. A sin. A breaking of the commandments. Thou shalt not lie. Right? Go ahead. What's it? What's that? Oh, at that point, yeah, then you know where you at. Then you know they have been made a proselyte of men. They have now been moved out of the scripture to a doctrine. They don't trust what they carry into church every Sunday anymore. Wait a minute, let me go get my Bible. It's going to be in that church. Blow the dust off it, can't get reading it. Then they go check the windows like you just crept in last night and changed their Bible. Yeah, I'm going to get her tomorrow. She ain't know I've been stuck in her house and putting these scriptures in her Bible. Right. Go ahead, bro.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar.
Right.
And the truth is not in him.
And what is not in him?
The truth.
There's no truth in this individual. So why are you casting your pearls before swine when something has no truth in it? It doesn't want truth. If you don't want commandments, you don't want truth, and you don't want life. Because the truth it cuts down to the marrow of the bone. When you tell somebody the truth, yeah, it's going to hurt. Especially when you find out I ain't supposed to have been doing it. Yeah. Or I'm in the position because I was doing it. And that hurts, don't it? But he loves a broken and contrite spirit that make you go over in your mind, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have followed my what?
First mind.
And your first mind is even told to you by Satan when he come and tempt you. Ain't that the first thing they ask you? What did your first mind tell you? Oh, he said we can't eat it.
My Lord.
Woo. You in for a boring life. You better come on and see some fun. But I hear everything I got kicked out. There we go. And every time you do it, you say the same thing. That's telling you in your consciousness that I knew it was wrong when I did. Or I should have chose right. My first mind told me this. Same thing when he came to Christ in Matthew 4th chapter. First thing he come at him is with the law. The script say, throw yourself off this cliff. Angels will come very young. Messiah responded back to the script. Should never tempt the law. Been 40 days and 40 nights, I know you're hungry. I hear your belly growling from here. Command them stones be made bread. He come right back. Man should not live by bread alone, but by what? Every word. So we see y'all report. Y'all see what happens, why it will be without excuse. Even your adversary is playing by the rules. He know what to attack you at. He gonna attack you with what you say, I got faith. He coming after, let me see if you got some works, partner. Yeah, I want to test your works, huh? You got some faith in who you believe in. You ain't gonna last.
Then I'm a fat mouth.
Fat mouth, what you believe. Right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5. But whoso keepeth his word.
Whoso doeth what?
Keepeth his word. In him, verily, is the love of Yah perfected.
So if you keep the word of Yah, the word of Him, you're perfected. You become perfect. Go ahead, bro.
Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked.
See, even as he walked.
Right.
See, you got to walk, y'all. You can't spin your wheel time and time again trying to defend where I'm falling short at. And you want me to have that same understanding. Look, even when you're talking about the same-sex deal, it ain't the fact that we are pounding on them. It's just the hottest law breaking that's being legalized. And they acknowledge it. You ought not be doing that. Well, what about married people that cheat on their spouses? So you're going to point out a sin that I pointed out. You at least acknowledging what you're doing is sin. So we got a good start now. Because you can't switch with that thong and them high heels into the kingdom. It ain't happening. I don't care if the Undertaker do dress you up in a wig and a dress. It ain't happening.
It ain't
The
happening.
boss gonna better take that up when you raise up.
It ain't happening.
All of that's gonna be off in dust.
It'll be fuel for the fire.
Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 7. Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye had from the beginning.
Which we had from the what?
From the beginning.
See, they think we talking about the law started at Mount Sinai. Cain committed what? Murder. Why was he told, if you commit sin, if you don't repent, if there's no law? Sin is still transgression of the law in the beginning, eh? Sodom and Gomorrah was before Mount Sinai. Why were they punished? Because they did what? Before Mount Sinai. See, this makes the average Christian doctrine believer wheels start to turn. You got to make, y'all, it's not a contest about who can pee the farthest.
Exactly.
It's about either I'm dead wrong in what I'm trying to bring to you of life, or you're dead wrong. And I'm here to seek your wealth. I want to see you live. That I may live. Because if you live, then I'm being fruitful. I'm keeping commandments. You're going to tell somebody else how to live. And when it get back and the Most High say your numbers are good. But if you say, I got the gift that you gave me and you don't share this with anybody, this has become an accessory for outfits. Shopping in the store, you lay it on the bed and put that aside.
Wow.
Kill it with that tomorrow. That's all it's become, a fashion piece.
Wow.
Other than and a scepter. That's all it is, y'all. It go good with the outfit. But it's just like that same false flag and you in a club with a Dooney and Burke and a Willie John purse, and you got change in it and 2 broke cigarettes.
I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye had from the beginning.
Right.
The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning.
From the what?
From the beginning.
Look, y'all, sin was in heaven. Lucifer sinned in the kingdom of heaven and was cast out of there before Adam and Eve was cast out of that same realm when it was put on planet Earth. So y'all, that's why he was standing in the garden like that. That realm got sent down to the earth. Adam was supposed to correct it and conquer Satan and Satan become his servant. But he tricked. He didn't come before the commandments. He came well after.
Verse 8. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past, and the true light now shines.
So y'all, the true light have to shine in your mind so that other people can see the countenance when you come. They'll look, they'll just hear words. You ain't got to say but a few. A few words, and people will hear a few words. Scripture say let your words be few. You got somebody that says, you good? Eat. Oh, hey. Scratch the little takes. Go ahead.
I always say I have some issue I answer, but I'm going to go through. But I ain't talking about like nobody early, but I'm saying like when they say when they keep going down to like verse 10 and 11, verse 10 is he that loves his brother. When he said he that loves his brother, is it like if I own like this?
Well,
just like
first, to the Jew first, and then the Gentile, from Genesis to Revelation. So your commission, because Christ was not sent to the rest of the world, but only to the lost sheep of Israel. He told them, don't go in no other way. Go first to the lost sheep. You got to get their mind straight because it's their job to go to the rest of the world. So in understanding from that perspective, always Israel and then the rest of the world. Yes, the rest of the world is included now. But it has to become from Israel. You have to be the light to the rest of the world. First to your own brethren, so that they can help you with the mission for the rest of the nations of the world. To get them prepared for Zechariah 14, when all nations got to come up to Jerusalem. They got to know what they got to do when they come up there. They got to have instructions. Get instructions. You'll rule the nations. It'll be Hebrews set up to instruct the other nations on how to deal.
I got it at the Greek Concordance, it's G80. First definition, a brother, whether born of the same 2 parents or only of the same father or mother.
Right.
2, having the same national ancestor, belonging to the same people or countrymen. 3, any fellow or man. 4, a fellow believer united to another by a bond of affection. 5, in association with employment or office. 6 is brethren in Christ. His brothers by blood, all men, apostles, Christians, as those who are exalted to the same heavenly place.
So what we're talking about is Romans 2:9, Romans 1:16. To the Jew first, then the Gentile. Somebody read that for me right quick. So you understand how the blessing goes out, because when punishment comes out, you first. But it's what the law always said. One law for Israel and one law for the stranger. If anybody's around you, both y'all have to be of the same law because it's spiritual. It doesn't care about color or nationhood. What it cares about is the spirit that's moving inside of you. If you like that, you a brother. Yeah, there was a physical blessing of the flesh that we finna get into because Abraham was called the friend of the Most High. And we got to make sure we go back and finish that up in that 1 John 15. Go ahead, what you got right
Luke 10 and 25 about the Samaritan.
Oh yeah, we got that on the list.
Oh, you got that on?
Yeah.
All right. Let's come into that.
We're going to come right to that.
And that was his question.
Absolutely.
10, 25.
And your neighbor is...
Down to like 35, 36.
Yes, your neighbor is one who keeps the commandment. Israel first, and then the rest of the world. Right.
I really hate people.
Israelite. Right. You ain't never hated no other nation like that in your life, have you?
I never hated. I don't even hate the person that killed my brother or anything.
Right.
I really hate
The Israelite. Right.
We should read that.
Right. Yeah, let's read that.
We're going to go to Luke real quick. Luke 10. Luke 10, we're going to start around verse 25. That's an excellent question. Dan, you already got it?
Yeah, go ahead, let's read. We're right on that. Let's get into the more.
Luke 10, verse 25. This is about who is your neighbor. Luke 10, verse 25 36. Up to 37. All right, the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
So that's the question. That's the question all of us should want to know. How do we get into the kingdom? Go ahead.
He said unto him, what is written in the law?
What is written where?
In the law. How readest thou? And he answered and said, Thou shalt love Yah, thy God, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And he said unto him, Thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live. But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Jesus, said unto Yahushua, And who is my neighbor? And the Messiah answered and said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell amongst thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side.
See, a certain priest, a known priest, like you know Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, when you see them showing up, you always know they're going to be there. Where it's trouble, they sniffing for a nip. They got a new rhyme they wrote. The O's got to go. That's all they got. And a fashion. Well, they don't even fashion no more. There they come. A certain priest. Go ahead.
Verse 32. Verse 32. And likewise a Levite. When he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side.
Can you imagine that? This is a priest that knows what we just read. If you see somebody naked and destitute,
Right.
at least he should have gave some spiritual knowledge.
Just looked at him
And he walked up to him. Ooh, boy, somebody, you got knocked up.
Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was. And when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him and bound up his wound.
What did he do?
Bound up his wound. Pouring in oil and wine.
You see what he poured in? He poured in healing medicine. Go ahead.
And set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him.
You see that? Put him in his whip. Put him in his ride. Like pulling somebody in the back seat of the ride and taking them on to a safe spot. Go ahead.
And on the morrow when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, And whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee.
That's right.
Which now of these three thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell amongst the thieves? And he said, he that showed mercy on him. Then said Yahushua unto him, go, and do thou likewise.
And do what?
Do thou likewise.
Do thou likewise. Hit some just real quick while you're on that map. Hit that Leviticus 19 and hit 33 to 35. Just hit that real quick. And then y'all gonna jump right back on the point. Y'all gonna run out of time. We're already almost in the 3 o'clock hour.
Leviticus 19, verse 33.
What it say?
And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land,
right,
ye shall not vex him.
You should not do what?
Vex him. Meaning oppress him. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be as one born amongst you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Most High, your God. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure.
See, if you got an Israelite that's doing wrong, and you got a Gentile right there that's doing wrong, you can't go to the Gentile first. You got to crack the head of that Israelite.
That's right.
First. Then him. You got to get the light corrected first. Or it's going to be a problem. Go ahead, man. That's more of that. That's good. So, y'all, we see the understanding of Romans 2 and 9, just for me real quick. Romans 2 and 9. So we understand what the mission is, the commission that was given. If you are a light unto the Gentiles, that's all the nations of the world except Israel. What you got here, son?
Pretty simple. Matthew 12:46. It said, while yet he talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto them, behold, my mother and my brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto them, and told him, who is my mother?
What it say?
Who is my mother? And who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. Verse 50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
See, so y'all, on a spiritual level, you can't have a kingdom of righteousness if you're saying we're going to have servants in there, and the servants don't know the law. What kind of problem is that going to be? A major problem, ain't it? How are you in the kingdom and he going to bring you some of your favorites from America, then the restaurant, I believe you call it the Red Lobster. You. Right. They got to know the law. To be your servant. Like Eleazar was to Abraham. Louis. We finished that?
No, you about to go to Romans 2.
Romans 2 and 9.
Romans chapter 2, verse 9. Tribulation and anguish. We'll start at 5. No, verse 4. No, 5. I'm starting 5. But after thy hardness and impotent heart treasurest up unto thou thyself wrath against the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of Yahweh, who will render to every man according to his deed.
According to what?
To his deed.
See, every tub got to sit on his own body. Go ahead.
To them who by patient continuance in well-doing seek for glory and honor and immortality, eternal life. But unto them that are contentious and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil.
See, every soul of man. That includes all the other nations. Read.
Every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first.
Of the who first?
Of the Jew first. And also of the Gentile.
Okay.
But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also to the Gentile.
So it says right there, to everyone that doeth just and good, that worketh just and good, to the Jew first, and then the Gentile. If they keep the law and you won't, so you're saying the Messiah should still void them out.
The second witness to that is 1:16.
1:16, Romans 1:16 said the same exact thing. So y'all, this is where our mindsets have to be spiritual first. If you see color first, you've been color blinded. Spirit is of no color. Has anybody ever described what color the Holy Spirit was? Man, it was kind of orangish a little bit, and no. Because you don't even know it's coming. It don't even alert you. You'll know it because you'll be rewarded for it in due time. A wild pit bull come out of there, and next thing you know, you got about a curl and hurling it like it's a snake, and throw it over the fence, and then you look, and the neighbors look. Man, that was the meanest pit bull. They call that Satan's child, and he just tossed it over the fence. Let's get into this. I wanted to finish that 1 John 15 up. I need to show where Abraham was his friend.
James 2.
James 2, we need to get right back down to the part where Abraham, I believe it's verse 23. James chapter 2, verse 23.
You want to read that? Start from 19.
Wherever you stopped on 19.
James chapter 2, verse 19. Thou believest that there is one God. Excuse my fault.
So it's kicking here. They having a concert in that dude. That did crump.
And y'all, we're going to speed up just a little bit, but y'all, this is what we're trying to get the understanding of, y'all, is what it takes to become a friend. If you can't practice around the people that you say you love and practice that word, do you think any outside is going to even say, man, I don't want to be a part of that? Man, them niggas was at each other's throat and choking and spitting and hollering the scriptures at the same time.
Y'all ready?
You get it. Where you at? Backing that up.
James chapter 2, verse 19.
Yeah.
Thou believest that there is one God.
Right.
Thou doest well. The devil also believes and trembles. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham, our father, justified by works, when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect?
See, because Abraham said, Lord, I'll follow you wherever you go. I'll do whatever you do. He said, when you give up that son that I gave you in your old age that you was past the time to have a child, and your wife was way past the time to have a child. Y'all got a miracle child. Will you give that back? He said, you gave it to me. I'll give it back. But we get angry. Why couldn't be me? What you were doing yesterday, you better hope it ain't you.
Verse 23. And the scripture was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed Yah.
What did Abraham do?
Abraham believed Yah, and was imputed unto him for righteousness. And he was called the friend of Yah.
Let's see what Abraham believed before Mount Sinai. Give me Genesis 26, 4 and 5. And then we'll understand how you become the Most High's friend. How can you attend a doctrine every Sunday and it tells you not to do what God told you, and you can still be his friend? It's up. Yes, sir, that's what we're talking about. Coming up next, brother. Where you at?
Genesis chapter 26, verse 4.
What it say?
I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
Right? How many nations of the earth?
All the nations of the earth.
See, this is what we got to understand what's before Mount Sinai. That's where we're getting back to. The way it was in the garden. And Garden of Eden wasn't like Grant's Farm. All the pictures that they show you on the front of the watchtower. What Adam and Eve was in is the kingdom that's coming. It's the kingdom that's coming. Streets of gold, righteousness, angels that are minus Satan locked up and his demons for 1,000 years. So the influence of wrongdoing won't be out there. It'll be strictly free will like it was when Satan fell. There was nothing that influenced Satan. That's why he said there's no head above the serpent. Nobody influenced Satan to do wrong but Satan upon his free will. So during the kingdom, you can't blame it on the devil. If you trip, it's of your own free will. There's nothing out there that's able to tempt you but you. You got somebody? Go ahead, say it. Read a little more.
Verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice.
What did Abraham do?
Obeyed my voice. And kept my charge.
And
my command.
My what?
My command. My statute.
Right.
And my law. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, she is my sister. For he feared to say, she is my wife. Least said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon.
So this is just going into where Abraham went into Egypt, tested again about his faith. So I'm saying when he said that's his sister, well look, when you understand the spiritual realm in the beginning of a nation, that's the only time brother and sister are allowed to come close. It's the only time you will ever see it in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Never mother on son, never father on daughter, or brother and sister when a nation is being built, because Abraham and Sarah was free of what we call the impurities at that time that would have caused them to have a child. If a 90-year-old woman have a child now, that baby gonna have some problems. Let's not be fooled right now. But that child was made whole. Kings from all the other nations came to see Isaac. They couldn't believe it. Sarah was how old? 90 years old? Yeah. And then all of a sudden here she come with a baby suckling. You had saddlebags at first, now they're sitting up like this. Just trying to get you They're like, wait a minute. You got to be a friend of the Most High. And you got a young strapping you, Abraham 99, you think he was walking like this? No, Abraham was walking proud. That's been done. And we have been doing that a long time, y'all, before that blessing came, y'all. So don't think you can expect anything. You've been in 3 months already, you looking for blessings. We're going to get into some jazz and you'll see how long Abraham was walking this walk before that blessing came, but many had come before that. But we just wanted to show you what made him a friend of the Most High is keeping his commandments, and you could be his friend. You will be around him. It's like people you know, no man, that's my partner. He wouldn't have did that.
Right.
But Earl down at the tie shop, that hit. So, but you know who your partners is. Let's get right into some Sirach, chapter 6. I'm going to put it up on the board for you. And we're going to understand a friend indeed. The script going to tell us who should be our friend. See, we got mindsets on who our friend. It may be because they got fat pockets.
Right.
That's my partner, dog. Because he buys shots, huh? Man, my boy. Boy, your boy get broke, you be riding by. Don't look out the way, he won't see us. Chapter 6. Ecclesiasticus. Yo, we got, these are called the books of wisdom. You know, when you start to see these, y'all, it's starting to get into common sense, y'all. Things that'll help you out. Common sense wise. Is that better, y'all? Y'all see that now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yo, we have to always stay together and read together. And every book that we read that's outside the 66 will never break law. If they break law, you got to put them down. The law is the measuring stick for everything. That's how the preachers get over with their books. T.D. Jake has a new one out. He's hustling the flock again. Get yours for $19.95. He's hustling the flock again. I'm paying tithes and I ain't learning that I keep on paying. I'm going to give them all my money and get my lights cut off and I'm going to keep paying. Girl, you ought to get that book.
It really speaks to me.
Right. Let's get it. Where we at? Y'all, this is the book of a friend, y'all, and it ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. Because I know him because he know he an Israelite. The world will be Israelites.
Right.
Go ahead.
And before we go into, can you explain why we go to these books, a lot of books?
This is about a friend, and what we're talking about is the Bible is a summary. Moses compiled all of these lost books into this summary of 66 books. That's why it jumped from Adam being born to he's 930 years old. What happened in between? That's what these lost books in the book of Jasher, that 2 Samuel 1:18 and Joshua 10:13 say, study out of the book of Jasher every day so you learn the art of war. So you have to learn these gets into the fine point. That's what his parables was about. Taken from other books, you know, and he bring up to the disciples, but they never broke law. If you get a book that break law, it's a problem. The Watchtower was gonna break law. Starting off because his founder was a 33rd degree Freemason. And buried under the Masonic headstone. So there's no light in him. He was a Freemason when he founded the organization. And just Google Albert Pike's headstone. He took it to the grave. Now when you talk about the casket, to the casket lock, he locked it with Satan. Because it's on his headstone. So this is talking about a friend, y'all, how you measure friends. Some of us measure friends because of what they got. Some of us take friends that's less than us so you can rule over them. But this don't give us a true definition of friends. We're going to hit a couple of proverbs. But let's get it.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 6, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Instead of a friend, become not an enemy.
So even if you would even be nobody's friend, never become an enemy. Never become, I can't stand that over there. Wherever you go, it's a problem. If that's what you get and everybody see that, I don't care where it's from, what angle it's from. If that's the deal, you're in good company because they know who you are, they know what you're about, and even if they ain't in this walk, they still greet you that way. Go ahead.
Instead of a friend, become not an enemy. Right. For thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name.
What kind of name?
An ill name.
Here it is. Who wants that name? I mean, that's how you know when you pull up. Here this nigga comes. Go ahead.
Shame and reproach. Even so shall a sinner that have a double tongue.
A sinner with a double tongue means I'm explaining. I'm just lying about my sins. I'm in denial. And that ain't just a river in Egypt. When you break it down, it means don't even know I am lying. You're in denial?
Don't even know I am lying. That's a good one there. Verse 2. One back.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. Extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying along.
Wringing your hands trying to figure out a situation when it's beyond you. Give it to the Lord when it's at that point. Trust in who your salvation is in. And your faith, and you just keep doing this. And the counselor, what should I do? What should I do? Go to the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Thou shalt eat up thy leaves and loose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree.
See, leave thyself as a dry tree because you can't be fruitful at that point. If somebody else sees you doing this all the time and woe is me, you want some of that fruit?
No.
Would you buy that fruit from the grocery store? See that worm coming out of that brown spot?
No.
If you see that brown spot on there, I don't like this, but the Lord loves me and my foot is killing me. And I wish I could. And I run out of toothpaste the other day, but the Lord. You can't spread rotten fruit.
Right.
Go ahead. Verse 4. A wicked soul shall destroy him that hath it, and shall make him to be laughed the scorn of his enemies.
See, your enemy or who you think may friend gonna put you on front street, man. And I fucking keep saying, man, they get talking all that noise, man. And yesterday we was over here, and the day, now look at it. See, that's what I'm saying, man. See, that's why I don't go to church. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Sweet language will multiply friends.
What kind of language?
Sweet language will multiply friends.
Free! Free! For my monkeys! Free Tennessee! Free! This is free.
Right.
Ain't nobody advertising this. It's wherever you go. It's one there. I said, Big Mama house ain't it? May have a row of dust on it. You can plant a row of corn, but it's there. It's in the hot sheet joint, ain't it? In that drawer that you slam back real quick. Yeah. That's what I heard.
That's what
Go ahead.
Verse 5. Sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair-speaking tongue will increase kind greetings.
Right.
Be in peace with many. Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000.
Y'all hear that? Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000.
This advice is coming in. Verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, yes,
sir.
Prove him first.
Do what first?
Prove him first.
And
be not hasty to credit him.
See that, y'all? And if you gonna be a friend to him, don't let him credit you. Blow smoke up your rear. Well, see, I knew you was down the first time I laid down. No, prove him first.
Trying to keep getting, see.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of your trouble.
We call those fair weather friends. As long as the sun shining and it's 80 degrees, no sweating your favorite outfit out, or in your body. But let it get hot. Let it get cold. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 9. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach.
Will discover thy what?
Reproach.
That means discover your shame. Your shame. That's what reproach means. Shame. When somebody discovers your shame, those are closet sins.
Yeah, you done got into it. You done got into it, now all type of dirty laundry is getting aired.
Look. We are not Dr. Fields around here. We don't get into the marriage business of directing couples on what they do. If it's so grievous, you ask one question. Can you live like that for the rest of your life? Who knows that answer better than anybody else? You. Absolutely. That's where we draw the line. Can you live like this till you dead? Or Christ come back? No, well, why are we still talking? Go ahead.
Verse 10. Again. Some friend is a companion at the table.
At the what?
At the table.
See, as long as it's being set out. Well, right now you can get a whole busload to go out to the country buffet. On me. Friends. Everybody patting on the way in. Everybody else looking. He's loved by so many. No, he got a bunch of dead presidents. Everybody finna eat. Go ahead.
Again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
Right.
But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servant.
You see that? In your prosperity, yeah, he talking big noise.
It's my dog.
Big noise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Castle drop, dog.
Shalom, bro. Go ahead.
Say, verse 12.
Yeah.
If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense.
He's a what?
A strong defense.
And what kind of friend did it say he is?
A faithful friend.
Yo, this is a friend that he's been proven and you can trust him. You say, well, there's only people in the script that I know. It's your friends that ain't in the script like you, but they know you in the script. They'll never cross that line with you. Right. I got friends that we met in the 2nd grade. Kamur. That's what his family called him because they was from down south. His name is really Calvin Darrell. They just called him Kamur. Been knowing him since the 2nd grade. Yeah. Just been knowing him since the 2nd grade, but we are friends like Jonathan and David. And he said, man, I know why you go. I would never ask you to do anything for me the time that you be doing what you're doing. I ain't never heard that from the other side like that. So that's what you're looking at, a friend that respects what you believe. Because you walk in that walk and he's seeing it, he's saying, so I'm just gauging it so I know what I need to do if I get in trouble. That's what you're looking for. That's the light you want to try to prove out. And a lot of that may be with somebody that ain't even in the word, so to speak. That's conscious. That's the people that's supposed to know. That's conscious. Go ahead, brother.
A faithful friend is a strong defense.
Yeah.
And he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure.
Right.
Nothing.
This friend, hold on. This friend will tell you come knocking on the door. What's up, bro? What's wrong? Come on in. Come on in. No, get a drink. What's going on? I done killed somebody. I just need it.
Good.
Killed him about what? He had on Rolex and he was making fun of me because I had on ties. You're looking for a piece from me to go make the score even. Y'all, a friend like that, they would know. They would come to your door at that point, y'all. When we got knowing the scriptures and you ask somebody to go shed in some blood with you. That's not a friend. That's not what it's talking about, a partner. You can't break God's laws to become a friend with this, or you're a friend of the world.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 15. Nothing doeth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is unvaluable.
Do y'all understand why we have to love our brethren of the faith? It's invaluable. Ain't no price you can put on a good friend. Somebody you can trust to watch your crib while you're gone.
Right.
Huh?
Not it, right.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. A faithful friend is the medicine of life.
What is he?
The medicine of life. And they that fear the Most High shall find him.
Oh, we see the connection now. We see the connection. They that fear the Lord
Shall find him.
gonna find. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 17. Whoso feareth the Most High shall direct his friendship aright.
Right.
For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also.
See, what you give out, that's what a turn birds of a feather flock together. What you give off, you receive back. Just another form of reaping and sowing. So y'all, the friends that you got to hit, and like say, prove your friend. Because you know the full handshake don't make that your friend. He just know the handshake. What did Christ say to Judas when he kissed him? Betrayed me thou with a what? When you kiss your brother, that was at enough time. That was Jonathan and David type of love.
You're not talking about lip locking,
No.
What are you talking about, brother Daniel?
That like we do this. The only difference they were mimic a cheek kiss on each side.
Holy kiss.
A holy kiss.
No tongue kissing.
No, none of that foolishness. So what we're talking about is he said, Judas, you gonna come to me with a brotherly kiss? The kiss of love has become the kiss of death. That's the only way you can get close to him. With Peter not reacting. Because if he'd come anyway, Peter would have, cut him in twain.
Right.
But the Messiah knew because he's the discerner of thoughts, and he said, betray thou me with a kiss. You're going to take the most holiest thing and betray me. And that's what we got groups out there every day, betraying with this kiss. How you going to turn this into a death lock, lip lock? Some of it's good, but some of it's ain't. That's a bad kiss, ain't it? Huh? A woman to talk about you, he cool, but he's sloppy kiss.
Oh, man.
How do you think this is like that? What you guys are? Go ahead.
So you can be angry with the fact of that though, like, because like even when you expose them love, like you said, like they these so-called Christians, people whatever, they be churches, and they be going off, and then they'll say a scripture and stand on it, but when you bust it down and go to another scripture and break it down, then they'll say, well, the Bible been telling you about man anyway. But then they still go in there and jump all up and down with the Holy Ghost. I don't get it.
Well, see, you ain't gonna get it because it's a sour kiss, it's a sloppy kiss. You see the sloppiness on it, they see it on it. They just trying to make you like it. Sloppy kiss. And every time you gather through, you got to do this. Man, you don't want to know this church.
Hey, you know what else you're seeing though? You're seeing that everybody don't live by it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Live
right.
by the word. A lot of people just frame, you know what I'm saying, earlier, just carry it around. It's part of their outfit, you know what I'm saying, a fashion piece.
It's an accessory.
Had they really been living by the word, or at least like in their mindset, like man, whatever the Bible says is true. You dig? And then when they get brought something, they be lost something. Hey, good job. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I did not know that said that up in there. You feel me? When you get all kicking back in the Bible in time, click, he's out of ammo. You done ran out. He has nothing to even come back with. Right. Your excuse is the very Bible that you got only on the front of is tampered with.
Right.
That's your answer. Instead of saying, hey, that's a good one. I never saw that before. I thank God he sent you something. You feel me? You know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with somebody that's like, okay, yeah, because I really believe the Bible, I just didn't know what that was in there. Or you're dealing with somebody that's frank. You feel me? And you know at that point who you're dealing with based off the response. However they respond to you, they on some good job. I appreciate that.
Right.
That's what's up. That's of the Lord. If they on some any kicking back, the Bible been tampered, and that's a pastor or a deacon saying the Bible been tampered with. You know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the devil. That's right. He looks just like us. You know what I mean? Dark skin, whatever. But he's a devil. Right. He's entertaining demons, dark spirits. You feel me? So once you understand that, it ain't for you to get it. It's for you to understand like, oh, okay, I see what I'm dealing with. Right? After so many times, it's like I can't be casting my pearls before swine. Right. You feel me? I ain't gonna keep throwing these jewels over in that pig trough. Right? Either you down or you rain. If you ain't, I'm gonna keep it moving. That's how we gotta be out.
Now look, don't think the Messiah ain't gonna ask y'all the same thing he asked Peter. Let's get some John chapter 21.
You stopped at 18?
Yeah.
You got something out? That's a good one too, about the 37? Yeah, about the friend. Yeah. That's a good one too.
Well, we there, yes sir.
John.
I got that one more too.
What do you say?
1 through
1 through 6, all right?
1 through 6, yeah.
John 13, 1 through 6.
Now we're going to Sirach.
We're going 9. No, we're going, yeah, hold on, we're going to hold that John. While we're still in Sirach, we're going to go to 37th chapter.
1 through 9.
It's just friends again, y'all, so y'all understand again, 2 witnesses. And understanding who you choose as a friend. And who you let come close to you as a friend. Very good scripture, bro.
I got one on that friend too. Proverbs.
Oh, we're going now, bro. I got, yeah, 18, 17.
18.
We're going right after these. Yes, sir. Very good. Y'all, y'all, what we're talking about, y'all, is measuring sticks. All that is of Israel is not of Israel. Right. Until you understand what that means, y'all, we're going to have problems. Just because we look like we Israel don't mean we Israel in the mind and heart.
Break down.
Really? Sirach chapter 37, verse 1.
What it say?
Every friend saith, I am his friend also. But there is a friend which is only a friend in name.
Right.
Is it not grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned into an enemy?
Y'all, is that the worst conversation you can have on the phone? Yeah. Yeah, we ain't talking about snitching. That's a whole different level of something else. You're telling on we're robbing banks and we're doing wrong. You want to do right. So there's a level with that, but if you make an oath that we ain't going to tell, now you're a transgressor of your oath. That's what we discussed. Versus a friend that become an enemy. They used to be your war. And Messiah knew Judas since they was in grade school, so to speak. Judas Iscariot just didn't show up then. They grew up together. But Judas always had that Eddie Haskell spirit on him. Punched the Christ in the side one time when they was young. Christ handled them then. Let's get some more. Go get it.
Verse 3. O wicked imagination.
Oh, what kind of imagination?
Wicked imagination. Whence came the style to cover the earth with deceit? There is a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him.
See, y'all, that's how you know. A friend ain't gonna let you put your bad deeds on him when he comes to see you, when you downtrodden. Some wait to fall, and you thought that was my friend, till I got down and I didn't have no more power. All your friend that saw was he saw your money was your God. And your God is gone. I can't be your friend no more. Go ahead.
There is a companion which helpeth his friend for the belly,
right,
and taketh up the buckler against the enemy.
See, for his belly, you feed. Go ahead.
Forget not thy friend in thy mind.
In thy what?
In thy mind.
Right.
And be not unmindful of him in thy riches.
So, y'all, that's, if he is a friend, it's either with it or without. That's your body. And we know who those people are. Even if they ain't consciously in this word, they know you conscious. The ones that have been separated, you got to weigh the odds. Is it something I done about this word that I drove them on, or they really wasn't my pocket? Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel. Is that good? That's it on that, right? You want to go down to 9? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Y'all liking that? Who got questions? Go ahead. I think she just yawned.
What is a buckler?
Buckler is like that. Your insignia with the power, like right here, your war thing is a buckler. It's like what held the garment, or like your security belt. Like the police belt, that's the buckler. That hold all your weapons of war. All of that, that's like the buckler. The police don't leave without their belt. It's got everything he needs to deal with crime in there. Handcuffs, mace, taser, weapons, backup bullets. That's the shield and buckler. You know, the shield is the block, and this is what you got. I can reach for this over here. I can come back and get this from back here. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counsel for himself.
Yeah, if it was me, man, see, God gonna do them 20 years, and see, the money gonna be here when we get back. I got the money.
Yeah, buddy.
Right.
Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself.
What will he do?
Counsel for himself.
Anytime you hear if it was me, what I would do, that's counseling for himself. I'm not going to tell you if it was me. You're not me. Right. The advice is, if it's the Lord's will, brother, the understanding of what we both believe, this is whether it's me or you. This got to be done, brother. How you going to give him your counsel? Right. He already heard that. Everybody call him from Facebook. See, dog, if it was me, I tell you what. Look, I know you went to that Bible thing. And can't nobody move you on Saturday. But if it was me, you want this bill says hit. And you start thinking. Nobody that knows you in this word just saying, brother, it's test time. Gird up your loins. Guard your grill. And tie your boots on tight, boy. We're about to go through a war. That's right. I got your back, though. On anything that I can help you with, within my means, I'm going to help you. Anything short of that, anything more than that, you can't become a usury, or what I'm saying, or what the script called a usury for your friend, that you put your life in jeopardy and they take away your bed. You can't get into something and then you're calling home. Yeah, Junior graduated, huh? Because of what you did for another friend. You can't do that in the sense that Messiah never asked us to break the law on his behalf. So why would you go do that with somebody else? We got to stay on the law, and a friend that knows his law will never invite you to do that. Right. Not a friend. Boy, both of us can die of this. Unless it's something about the law. They're going to kill us, bro. If we going to keep teaching these scriptures next week. Well, we're going to be dead next week, probably. You know that, don't you? Right. That's a friend. Not no other that foolishness out there in the street. Go ahead.
End of verse 8.
Yes.
Lest he cast a lot upon thee, and say unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee.
Well, what kind of friend is that, huh? Bring you down and just stand on the other side. Look, we have to be careful of these things, y'all. We got some faith ain't security. They be standing on the other side and seeing if you're going to win. If you win, then they back on your side. Right. But if they had got you, right, you was gone. You was a complete. Wouldn't even like they knew you anymore. Go ahead.
Consult not with one that's, consult not with one that suspected thee.
How you going to do that? Right. Even the courts tell you that. You have the right to do what? Thank you. Some I'm going to plead to what?
F-I-L.
What is right? So y'all, it tells you certain things that you see the nations are doing came out of the script already. Go ahead.
And hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Neither with a coward in matters of war.
Right. Now how you gonna do that? How you gonna listen to that? Right. That's the only reason I run yesterday, because I heard my mother call me.
Nor with a merchant concerning exchange, right, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with the envious man of thankfulness, nor with the unmerciful man touching kindness.
See, all it's telling you, all of those are oxymorons. It's like jump on shrimp. You're going to have a whole lot of nothing. How you going to be dealing with an unmerciful man and you talking to him about kindness? He ain't got no conscience. Go ahead.
Nor with the slothful for any work. Nor with...
Look, it's 2 p.m. and I'm just not scratching and straightening my underwear back up. It's 2 p.m. How you going to talk about, let's get some work done? It's 8 hours gone. Scratching. No, how long you been out? Since 8. Oh, man. That's funny, boy.
Nor with a hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with an idle servant of much busyness. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel.
Because you wasted your time and your breath.
But be continually with a godly man.
With a who?
With a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High.
Oh, right there. See, keeping don't mean you never seen. Keeping means that if you saw him sin, he got up and brushed himself off and got back on that path, and that's the only one you can keep naming. Man, remember when you, I don't do that no more. When you did it, if they can name that, then that's a problem. But this type of man, a godly man that you know the advice he gonna give you in the roughest time, I'm still coming out the scriptures, brother. Your troubles and problems don't supersede what I was giving you when you was doing well. Yeah. Go ahead.
Whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
Right.
And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it.
Who know you better than you? Who know you better than you? Besides the Most High, come on. You have to be, let no man judge you, and understand you better than anybody. If they see you going off and don't care about yourself, you think anybody gonna listen to you? If you a daredevil, I mean, you don't care about your life at all. Dog got to die one day. Ain't no need you getting in that car. If you in the car, you gotta just stop and let me out the car, dog. Let me out the car. Go ahead.
For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in an high tower. And above all this, pray to the Most High.
Do what?
Pray to the Most High that He will direct thy way in travel.
Look, some battles that you have, like you were saying, man, it's abrupt. I can't stand this brother more than anybody. Pray to the Lord and let Him take care of that problem for you. Right now, there's only one recourse for that problem. He's only one MF away. He's only one step on my shoe. He's only one come over here when I told him not to. Is either the penitentiary or the graveyard. With that situation, when you say I'm right there with this, you got to pray to the Lord, and He'll move that out of your way, so that you don't have to. So because that's on your mind everywhere. If I run into them at the movies with my kids, or my kids gonna be homeless, you gonna say that? Because you know what you finna do, kill them and go first.
That's crazy.
That's terrible.
You're going to the penitentiary.
Yes.
So these type of things, man, you got to get on your prayer game. And we're going to get into some David and Jonathan while we got a few more minutes, y'all. And understand that type of friendship. And you got to understand that type of friendship with the Most High. That your friend got your back like everything we read. He like, I know what y'all going through. Y'all ain't going through half of what I went through. Which one of us been scourged in here? Taser can't compare. A whip with leather strips with metal balls with spikes on it. And they walk behind you, beating you the whole way.
Ripping skin off.
Ripping skin off. Some of them had hooks in them, and they just ripped them off. Yeah. Your whole way to your execution. That's going to the execution. And then we crying. But our friend, y'all, the Most High, He know what we need before we even ask Him. He already know the thoughts, and His counsel is in. If you do that or you prepare for this, it's the same way like if you telling somebody that's going through problems, can you live like that for the rest of your life? You think you can do 25 standing on your head? Like these youngsters think? But 48 hours tell a different story, don't it? Right. Yeah. You just killed 3 people, now you're crying in here. You go, Mama, I tell you. You bad boy in the streets. Right. Pistols up like this, money in your head, and now you're crying all around. You know, I just married my girl one time. They're like, no, you got your husbands. Let's get some more. Yeah, let's look at more.
Verse 16. Let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action.
No impulse buy. No that spur of the moment thing. Always think for a second. That's right. You can't even have what's called sudden fear. You're a gunshot. Naturally you duck, but you just can't take off running. You run like a bullet, don't you? Yeah. They shooting. At least stop and realize where it's coming from. Get low. Get low. It's coming from that way. Okay? Now see what's happening. Go ahead.
The countenance is a sign of changing of the heart.
What is the countenance?
A sign for the changing of the heart.
See, you can look at somebody and they start to look dark. If you know somebody's on the word, they off now. Man, I'm saying, bro, countenance was looking kind of dark. Fell off. Because the light is gone. Oh. Absence of light is what?
Darkness.
Okay. Go ahead.
4 manner of things appear good and evil, life and death, but the tongue ruleth over them continually. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself.
Well, now that's trouble. That's what it warns you about a bishop and a deacon. He has to be a well ruler of his own before he can teach the assembly. If she's slapping him in the back of the head on the way to the assembly, how you gonna teach you? Come on now, girl. You got a lesson to do.
Slap him side you.
Go ahead.
You can turn around and go home. There is one that showeth wisdom in words, and is hated. He shall be destitute of all food.
Y'all, we got to understand a lot of these wisdom things because they're parables of understanding law and righteousness. Y'all, we got about 2 more scripts, y'all. We're going to get ready to wrap it up. 1 Samuel. 18.
1 Samuel 18 chapter.
Yes, sir. King James is born. Yo, the Bible have to talk in different languages so it grabs everybody. It grabs for you that you may look at that's out in the street. Hebrew wildings. It brings forth everything from every perspective. Those that think they hide might may have a double doctorate degree in this. But it makes them fall on their kneecaps and realize that you can't get this absolute 100% truth both in a university. It ain't happening.
You said 1 Samuel
18th chapter. 18. Yes, sir.
We're going to read verse 1, we're going to read a couple, and we're going to see some partners.
1 Samuel 18.
Then we're going to hit Acts 13, 22. And when y'all understand, see, these men had faults, and the Most High said, they cool with me, I know them because they were sorry because they broke the commandments, and the Lord looked at them differently. Not sorry because they got caught. That's 2 different things.
Yeah.
When you sorry because you get caught, you won't do it again. You just trying to figure out how not to get caught. This time, you done got caught for burglary. Your cellmate tell you, oh, you didn't cut the green wire on the S23000, did you? Yeah, I cut the green wire. Man, they changed that to the blue wire last year. You get out and go burglarize again and cut the blue wire. You back again. You cut that blue wire, didn't you? And they upgraded to the yellow wire. Quit cutting wires.
Right. You gotta ask.
1 Samuel 1 Samuel 18, verse 1.
1 Samuel 18, verse 1. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
As his own what?
As his own soul.
See, y'all, this wasn't no homosexual type of love between Jonathan and David. This my boy, my partner. This my partner. This ride or die. His daddy won't kill me. Right. He loved me more than his dad did, in spirit and truth. Let's read some more.
Verse 2. And Saul took him that day, and would not let him go no more home to his father's house. And Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul.
Now, y'all, this is right after David just killed Goliath.
Yeah.
Chapter before he just killed Goliath, cut his head off, and then he walked in before Saul with Goliath's head in his hand. You feel me? So that if you go back, there's a couple verses in the last chapter, you'll see David just killed Goliath. You dig? So now it's Saul, the king, son Jonathan is making a covenant with David. Like me and you tight, I got you. One of those type things.
Right.
That's why he wouldn't let him go home to his own house. He had to stay there and watch over, Saul and all that. All right, verse 3, y'all.
Verse 3. And Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David and his garments, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle.
You see what Jonathan gave him?
Everything.
That garment. That flies garment, man, this means nothing to me, man. Our friendship way more than this. I'd rather see you in it than me.
Sword, his bow, and his straps.
Go eat.
And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants.
Uh-oh, we got a problem coming. Go eat.
And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the woman came out of all cities of Israel singing and dancing to meet King Saul.
See, now Saul is riding in the first horse. After David come off the slaughter, David riding behind. Saul see all the women come out, he really smiled. You can see his molars and bicuspids way back there. He think all the singing and dancing for him. Keep reading.
Singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another.
Uh-oh, here we go. It's a problem. I'm the king.
And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul has slain his thousands.
How many did Saul slain?
His thousands.
Okay.
And David his 10,000.
Now how you would like that song? You in charge. But see, you didn't put him in charge of everything. Your son cool with him, you put him in charge of the whole war. But now we got a problem. All the other women see who in charge and who really running things.
Yep, and the Lord had already told
and who the Lord is with.
Right? He told Saul, like, you get the kingdom snatched from you. Right? So all that already went down.
Right.
So he know he gonna lose the kingship eventually. You understand? So this ain't do nothing make it worse. Everybody singing like, David, that man.
Y'all hear that singing like that, y'all? Look, we don't like nobody stealing our ideas at work. I came over with that first, man. And they singing it like he come over, go ahead.
And Saul was very wroth.
What was Saul?
Very wroth.
And
the saying displeased him.
That displeased him. I'm the king of the world right now, and he was at that time because Israel ruled. And they're not singing to me like that. Go ahead.
And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000, and unto me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom?
They're like, what's that? It's already in the writings. They'll be reading about this in 2016, down in the basement of the Sears building. Saul had killed his thousands. David is in 10,000. They have ascribed it. It's in the books. Go ahead.
First Samuel, verse 9. And Saul eyed David from that day and forth.
Now, watch out. Look, all these terms come out the Bible you see on the street. Man, keep your eye on them. Man, I had my eye on him.
I had my eye on him.
Yeah. Saul just looking at David everywhere he go. David's just in there cool, king just, the Philistines' fourth realm and banks over there against the Jordan River. I conquered all of that too, king. You were in charge of that now. He laid him on line. He just looked at it. Young lady. Thank you, David. You can go. Can y'all imagine that? Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit of God came upon Saul.
Right here. You don't have the naysayers that your God sent an evil spirit to Saul, but Saul was evil before. So all those spirits, evil spirits, are the leftover spirits from the giants that was before the flood, that was still alive. The spirits because they were angelic spirits that mixed with human beings. The flesh part died off, the human being part, but that spirit still lives and is evil. When you get into some book of Enoch, chapter 14 and 15, you'll see that those evil spirits were used for disobedient children. He's not going to use the righteous and wear them out, beating them down. He let some already,
y'all keep that down the back,
already for the fire, do that work. Kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. That's what he do. He uses evil. So those spirits weren't created on high because there's no head above the serpent. Meaning nothing tempted Satan to do evil. Right. Now there's some Israelites out there that teach because they're going to that one king and they say an evil spirit, say I will be a lying spirit. But those are spirits left over from the flood. That came on this side and they attack me. And when you do wrong, he'll command them spirits. Those spirits still have to answer. That's right. Satan still have to answer, don't he? Yeah. When he talked about Job, what did he tell him? Don't do what? Satan didn't do it. He knew it. He like, I'll make that 11-5 trip early for you. Did you say, boy? Yeah. Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit of God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hands as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David, even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice.
See, now here David is playing good music for Saul calm. David was like Jimi Hendrix on that song. He could drive away spirits, and that's where the term music soothes the savage beast came from. Of music, it calms babies down. That's out of, they can't get settled. Put some good spiritual music on and watch them settle on down. Because it's a spirit tugging and pulling on them. You done fed them, you drive them. Ain't nothing wrong with them. What they keep just hooting and hollering for no reason. Spirits tugging at them. Play a little music. Sing some sweet songs to them and watch them just calm down. Do it all the time. It's a proven work. Just singing there. Yeshua. And I can carry a tune in a bucket and it's working. And they calm down. 9 Grand Charles. I done worked on it. Go ahead.
Here, y'all write this down too. Sirach 39, verse 28 through 31. About these evil spirits.
Yeah.
That the Most High has control over. Sirach 39, 28 through 31.
Read that real quick.
Verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance.
What they created for?
There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
Right.
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
Now let me ask you this question. What spirit that was created for vengeance, what spirit knocked evil spirit through Satan out? What none was it? No, he mounted an army. There is no head above the serpent, as the scriptures teaches. There's nothing above Satan that teaches wickedness. Everything, all wicked thoughts and presence come from Satan. He's the final one thrown into the lake of fire. Ain't no spirit thrown in with him that's above him, is it? Everything else shall be the serpent's meat. See, Satan never was turned into the snake they talk about in Genesis 3:16 when it said, and dust shall be thy meat, because his curse is an everlasting curse. His curse ends in Isaiah 66, verse 21 through 25. 65, verse 21 through 25. And when the lamb lay down with the lion, and straw shall be the bullock's meat, then shall dust be the serpent's meat. This is after it's all over. So when no man or nothing turned into a snake and started eating dust. Snakes don't eat dust anyway. They taste dust to see where they put it, but they don't eat dust. What it was saying is, because men who follow him will be burned to be stubble. That will be his meal. Right. His followers. Then shall the dust be the serpent's meat. Isaiah 65:25. This is second coming prophecy. So you understand that he's still under the curse. The same curse the women still under during pain during childbirth that you read in 1 Tim chapter 12, 1 Tim chapter 2, verse 12 through 15. A woman shall be saved in childbearing if she continue with the walk of the word of the Lord. Pregnancies and different things that get easier. Her cycle will get less painful. What's 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12 through 15. Because it goes back to the garden, what happened. Now that curse was running all the way up to this time. And it's still running today, ain't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Let might all be around. It's going to be some trouble. Where we at?
Verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail, and famine, and death. All these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
So this is telling you this is for sinners. These are beasts. That's why as a beast come up against a woman or a man and a beast get together, the beast gotta say, kill both of them. Because beasts will turn to the other side. Every woman that'll come around on a horse will be running over that way. So y'all, he didn't create these things to be evil things. Everything is say, I saw it and it was good. It didn't say it was bad, did it?
Right.
So when they were created, but we make good beasts bad. That's why in the kingdom, what is the bullock eating? What is the wolf eating or the lion? You know what I'm saying? It's eating what? Like the bullock? So it's not in that vengeful mode of killing and devouring. So the beasts were not in that mode when they were created. They're going back to the mode that they were created. They eat like every other thing eat on planet Earth. That's why we can't eat birds of prey or anything that eats blood or devour animals. People will eat alligator, don't know it can be human flesh in there. People eat everything, but what we eat that beef that chew at the cud, like lamb, and when they do it, throw it up and chew it again. So it's to chew out all of the impurities. But it don't name what birds we can eat, do it? It just names the ones we can't. And all of the ones that we can't are birds of prey. They kill other things, like a hawk and a vulture and a raven. Go ahead, man.
Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandments.
What shall they do?
They shall rejoice in his commandments.
Right.
And they shall be ready upon earth when need is.
Now, ready upon earth.
When need is.
So when need was when the man was in the cave and Christ came there and he said, they say he's out of control, my son is a lunatic. The demons are destroying him. Right? Throwing him in the fire. I'm talking about, you see how they run naked with flock? These boys would just walk up to fire and leap in it. They had to chain him up in a cage. And when Christ came, he told that legion of demons, he said, get out of him. And what did they ask him? Have you done what before the time? Come to torment us before the time. He never created them for torment. They were fallen spirits, and that's their offspring, those fallen spirits that torment men to this day for his work. The absence of heat creates what?
Cold.
Cold. It ain't like the Lord just said, well, okay, you know, this is like this. His law is what do that. Disobeying of the law brings death. If you keep the law, you live, right?
Right.
So what will prevent us from ever seeing that evil side of life? Do what?
Keep the commandments.
Keep the commandments. And do what?
Live.
Because if you turn live around, what does it spell? So don't do the opposite. Don't do evil. Go ahead, brother.
And when their time is come,
right,
they shall not transgress his word. That's it for that.
See, and that's what we talk about. So the demons that, Lord, you come to torment us before the time, we still got time left. They still not on Buffalo Mountain Bridge. They didn't make it to the Series buildings yet. The Antichrist ain't stood up yet.
Say, you too early.
You early. But they know they have a date with torments. Our Father didn't create anything to have the mindset that I'm only used for destruction and then I'm going to be destroyed. So don't let nobody tell y'all that he created evil things to do that, to be thrown away. No. When you do evil, I got something else that used to be evil that comes to you. And then I get both of y'all with one lick. That's what the term kill two birds with what?
One stone. One stone.
With how many stones?
One.
Yes, sir. With one stone. Did we finish that? Yeah, that was this area. Yeah. Y'all ain't got number, what time is it now? About 3:45. Y'all got about 10 minutes. How long have I been saying that?
About 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. Go ahead.
We got a question right here.
Who got a question? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't what you say.
Yeah, because he rose up Nebuchadnezzar to come do what he did.
That's right.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's right. Rose Pharaoh up. See, a lot of people think he hardened Pharaoh's heart. So, man, that man probably didn't want to do wrong. The Lord rose him up and made him do wrong. No, Pharaoh's heart was hardened because he told Moses in the 7th chapter.
That boy, they got slapped back there, huh?
Verse 1 through 3. I have made you a God to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, I'm God on earth. I'm God on earth. So everything Moses was doing, because all Moses' advisors was telling him, man, you gonna let that do that? He already been in your house perpetrating. They kept souping Pharaoh up. And more of the plagues come. Pharaoh's heart just hardened because he felt he was losing the power. Just like this world feels they're losing the power and the grips, and the Messiah's on his way back.
That's right.
The heart is hard, and they see, we got the videos, but what they keep saying, he could have reached for something. I thought he was reaching for it. Heart is still hard, no matter the see. Well, we ain't seen the whole thing yet. What else you got to investigate?
Right.
Your face up.
So y'all, that's what hardening of the heart means. It wasn't that the Lord just made him hard. I'm going to fix you so you won't do right. Our God is a just and merciful God. He gave Pharaoh, he said, well, look, I'm going to do something that I'm going to take your firstborn. If you don't, you got another chance, let him go. Wouldn't let us go. Took his firstborn in. And when you get into the book of Jasher, do you know those that were alive and their firstborn died before then, they threw their corpse at their front door? If your son had been dead 12 years, guess what? Who was laying there when you opened the door? Junior! The God of the Hebrews don't play. Killed every firstborn of their cattle, of everything that they had. It went down. And he let his soothsayer still tell him and soup him up. Don't you go for it. We can do it. We can bounce back. We can bounce back. We can bounce back. But they knew it was a done deal. So the Lord don't ever create anything because it said it was good. And the evening and the morning were the what?
First day.
So y'all, we understand that he didn't create evil in that sense. What creates evil is when we break the law.
Right.
When we break the law, now evil has been created. Because we're transgressing now. Go ahead.
1 Samuel 18, verse 12. Saul was afraid of David.
And Saul was what?
Afraid of David.
Now this is the king of Israel. Why do y'all think he was afraid of David? Was it David or what was inside of David that he was scared?
What was inside of David?
He knew that was the man.
He knew he was going to lose his spot today.
He knew it because he saw what he done when he had his chief men out there fighting Goliath. So we thought they was doing, but they were just taking cover. And Goliath standing out there talking about our God like a dog in all of Israel. This was a dark-skinned Hamite. 10 shades darker than Wesley Snipes. Your God ain't nothing. And look at these David's cow was hiding behind rock, and David come up there to bring him a little cheese and wine at the battle. And David hearing this, what? What are you saying?
I know that from this way.
Chocolate cheese and wine. Get the hell out of here. Go back and man them sheep. Just man's business up there. And Goliath going out there hiding. David like, hey, this is...
Hey, I mean, Goliath talking big noise.
Big noise.
They're not a whore in all Israel to birth somebody that can come out here. Talking bad. Talking bad.
Big noise. And David said, what would a king get a man that solves this problem, this riddle? What do you do with this Rubik's Cube? We put all the colors on the same side. He gonna give him his buckler, he gonna give him his daughter, he gonna do this, I don't care about none of that.
Right.
We need to get some understanding around here that these nations understand what the deal is. He went back to Saul and he's like, look man, talking rough about the God of our people out there. And Saul was saying his shoulders was a head above everybody else. So the tallest man in Israel came right here to Saul. And he was scared. And they chose him because he was big and tall. Saul will be our king, straight tribe of Benjamin. When all the writings say he coming out of what tribe? Judah. Saul gave up that. David went out there and slung that rock and hit him right in the head. Didn't kill him with the rock. Just made him unconscious. Wounds him, knocked his equilibrium off, and he fell face first. And then took his sword,
cut his head off.
That was long as that table right there, and cut his head off and held it up like this. A head about big as the chair. Because he was 9'6".
Years old.
And when Saul got two reports, you know he was hurt. He said the saints had to go to another one now. David had killed Goliath. And Goliath had 6 fingers on every hand and 6 fingers on every toe.
I mean, 6 toes.
Yeah. I was just saying y'all nonsense. I see y'all still sharp, but y'all know that 6 fingers on every hand. 6 fingers on and 6 toes on every foot.
David was a Hebrew Israelite.
Who?
David was a Hebrew Israelite.
To the maximum, to the 15th power. Go ahead, bro. Read a little bit more. We're going to get out of this and read this last scripture.
1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 13.
What is that?
Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him.
See, and what was making David behave himself wisely? The truth and the law was making himself behave wise. He was saying, I cannot put my hand on the Lord. The Lord signed off on the deal of Saul being king.
No doubt.
Even though some had probably said, man, Saul a little weak, man. I seen him get took in a slap contest, you know. So, but they just voted for him anyway because he was the tallest. But everybody kind of knew it. David had 2 times to kill Saul. Yeah. Cut his skirt off when he went in a cave to take a number 2.
Right.
David snuck up behind him and cut his skirt, then showed him a piece of it. He said, I could have killed you in your sleep, and I could have killed you while you were taking a dump. So he knew that, hey, he could have got me. Yeah. But David said, I cannot transgress the commandment of the Lord. I can't touch the Lord's anointing. Right. He let the Lord handle that problem. And the Lord handled him spiritually. So y'all, we understand how warfare needs to go. Y'all, that's why you can never not honor your mother and parents. You have to honor what brought you into this world. Somehow they got through them 9 months. You ain't crazy. Because if you sitting in here with the same mind getting this scripture, they did something right for 9 months. Or the Spirit of the Lord was with you. Then, and he chose her. So you at least owe for that.
Right.
Because you'd be crazy. Finish the last 2 verses and we'll move on to this last script.
But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them. And Saul said to David, Behold, my elder daughter, Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. But Saul said, Let not my hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him.
See, and Saul wanted back door. I want to kill him, but I'm going to set him up.
Like David set up Uriah.
Like David, right. So you see, this is why David couldn't be king. Because everything David was facing with Saul, he ended up doing it to Uriah the Hittite for who? His woman. And you talking about, can strangers be amongst us? What was Uriah? What was his nationhood? A Hittite. Who was in the temple guarding the priest when David came through there and got the showbread?
That wicked Doeg cat.
What was he?
Edomite.
He's an Edomite. At our temple in ancient Jerusalem, guarding the priest.
Wanted by Saul.
So this is when we talking about, you asked about strangers being one. It had to be a law. They understood the law. They was giving their life for that. But Doeg was an enemy all one. He slipped in there and wanted to do some dirty work and killed a bunch of priests. But the priest that hired him was marked for death too. So y'all ain't gonna tarry on that too long. But John, the 21st chapter, y'all, we got these last 2 verses, y'all. We'll get out of here.
Get her done.
Y'all, if you understand friendship, I'm going to hit Acts 13 and 1. How far do we go down to 1 Samuel?
17.
17? Okay. Going to John, regular John, 21. 21, verse 15. And there's a question the Most High going to come to all of us and ask us.
What?
Good. And you back up here. Good. Who got it?
Reading from the book of John, chapter 21, verse 15. 14 says. The book of John, chapter 21, verse 14. Everybody there? This is now the third time that Yeshua showed himself to his disciples.
Right.
After that, he was risen from the dead.
See, y'all understand that everything comes out of this scripture. When you pen and you wrestling, how many times they count? 3. Y'all, when it's you out. So y'all, all of these things are coming from the scriptures, y'all. See, that's why it's without excuse. There's nothing that happened on this earth that can't be related to the scripture, because every mind of mine after that is an imagination of something I've already seen or what already exists. Ain't nobody came up with nothing new. Go ahead.
Verse 15. So when they had dined, Yeshua said unto Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these?
See what he asking him? You love me more than the rest of the disciples? Peter, Simon, go ahead.
You know, there's Peter that denied him.
Yeah.
He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee.
He said, you know that I love you, Lord. And then what we always say sometimes, Lord know my heart.
Yes, we do.
Got to be careful of that. If your heart likes wickedness, yes, he knows it. That statement may be truer than you need it to be.
He saith unto him, feed my lamb.
What did he say to him?
Feed my lamb.
Yes.
He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?
See, it was another Simon there. You know, so he had to point out who it is. Like when we talk about Black Rock. You know, man, Black Robert, man, you know Black Robert. Down there with Black Robert at the tire shop. Oh, that Black Robert. So in like manner, he explains things so you know, son of Jonah. Because those names were common to us. And so we don't get mixed up in who he's talking to at this point, and we think it's somebody else with the same name. He lets you know their lineage, so that you can say, oh, okay, that was this. Go ahead.
He saith unto him, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, feed my sheep. He saith unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time.
See, Peter wondered, like, man, he didn't ask me again. I'm told him he want to go off, but he knows.
And it's all, you know, people denied him that many times.
We're going right to that Luke 22. Go ahead, read, finish that off, and then we'll go right to Luke 22, y'all. Acts 13, y'all got it.
Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things.
Right.
Thou knowest that I love thee. Yeshua saith unto him, feed my sheep.
Right. See, and notice what burden he gave to Peter. He didn't challenge Peter to say, get the Romans for me. Look, Judas going to be coming with a sword. I need you, as soon as he get ready to plant his lips on me, I want you to stick that knife right between the both of them. That's what he did. But he knew that would have broke prophecy. Because he had to go to the cross. So y'all have to understand when he told them, the only thing, if you love me more than all of them, all the disciples, feed my lamb. That's all I'm asking you to do. Give them the word of the Most High. Go ahead. We'll get done with that.
Verse 18. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself, and walkest whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee, and carry thee whither thou wouldest not.
See, he told him you're going to live a long time. You may get old, you're going to need the help of others. So he teaches you not to burn your bridges. Right. Look, you're going to get old one day. How you going to cuss out your parents and you got children? You don't go see them. You don't help them out. No. You set yourself up to be looking out a window where ain't nobody in their family, hoping somebody drives by or come see you. Go ahead.
Verse 19. This spake he, signifying by what death he should glorify Yah. And when he had spoken this, he saith unto him, follow me. Then Peter, turning about, seized the disciple whom Yeshua loved following, which also leaned on his breast at supper, and said, Lord, which is he that betrayeth thee?
See, Peter even seeing, they say the disciple that truly loved the Messiah. He was on, when it said laid on his breast, he was that close to the disciple. I mean, to the Messiah. We're going to hit the scripture to let y'all understand who that was. But, you know, it didn't name him then, but it will. But it was one that made, you know, when the Messiah looked at Peter, he said, love me more than the rest of them. You know, that's why he's asking him that question, because he could see the anger starting to shift a little bit with the disciple that really, truly loved the Messiah. And we're going to find out who that is, but it's a point to why he started asking the question, when you love me, look, just feed my sheep. All y'all will be to this level. He's just there sooner than you. You still got war on your mind. You want to take this kingdom now. We got a ways to go. Right now, if an angel came in here and say, this thing will be over, in the year 2115. Who alive in here? Huh? Will we be here next week then? Huh? Y'all with him? Yo. You got to go. Your vow was to the casket drop. It wasn't that I want to see. Yeah, you want to see it in your lifetime, but do you really want to see the end of this matter and then what's on the other side of it? Like Amos 5:18 say, the day of the Lord, what does it mean for you? Because it's a dark day and a cloudy day. It's like if a man ran from a bear and then a lion met. The day of the Lord. It's not like what you heard on Sunday. And when the Lord comes,
Little house on the prairie.
The script ain't saying that. The script say it's going to be a terrible day because it's judgment day. Ain't nobody went to court and knew exactly what the judge was going to do. Your defense attorney making a plea deal to get you 9 years and the judge say, I don't like what it is. Y'all didn't go for this. He did worse than this. Give him 18 years. Double it up. Shalom. Go ahead, read that a little bit, man, so we get out of here. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Peter seeing him said to Yeshua, Lord, and what shall this man do? Yeshua saith unto him, if I will that he tarry till I come, what is that to thee?
You can hold that. I only want to read that for him saying, I love you 3 times. Now hit this Luke for me. Luke 22.
He just told Peter, feed my sheep.
Feed my sheep.
Stop worrying about this other guy.
Right.
What about him, Lord? He's like, they ain't got nothing to do with you. If I told him to wait right here till I return, what is that to you? Get to work.
And we'll see why the Lord asked him 3 times, do you love me? We're going to see what it means. See, y'all, it's good on this side of the world. You in the #1 kingdom that ever existed on planet Earth. The only nation or superpower that dropped nuclear weaponry on another nation. And that was hydrogen nuclears. Wicked. Now what they got that'll fit inside a suitcase about the size of a coffee thermos is equal to 250 of those that they dropped on. Knocking your socks off there. Hiroshima. One of them is equal to 250 of them, and they still being born with birth defects from that back in the 40s and 50s when they dropped that. Ain't no other nation ever done it. Luke 22, verse 54, y'all. We got the Acts 13, y'all. We got it. And y'all, this will answer him talking to Peter. And show y'all what the disciple is when the Most High trusts you, when a friend trusts you. A friend trusts you and puts something in your hands, y'all. It's like when we say, oh, that's little Ricky's godfather. Do y'all know what a godfather is and what his responsibility is and a godmother? That means if anything happens to that child, to the best of your ability, you are going to set their life in the path that your parents had planned for them. So you better make sure before you become a cosigner or usury or member that you're ready and prepared to do that. Not just it's a title of I'm Godfather or Godmother. These children are my responsibility if anything happens to their parents. And I'm going to raise them just like their parents had prepared for them. If you know what they had, don't accept that title, y'all. We accept titles, y'all, that we ain't got a clue what it's talking about. And the responsibility and burden of it. That's a vow you make. Go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 54. Then took they him and laid him and brought him into the high priest's house.
Right.
Peter followed afar off. And when they had kindled a fire in the midst of the hall and were set down together, Peter sat down among them. But a certain maid beheld him as he sat by the fire, and earnestly looked upon him and said, This man was also with him. And he denied him,
What did he do?
And he denied him, saying, Woman, I know him not.
I know him what?
I know him not. And after a little while, another saw him and said, Thou art also of them. Peter said, Man, I am not. And about the space of 1 hour after, another confidently affirmed, saying of a truth, This fellow also was with him, for he is a Galilean. And Peter said, Man, I know not what thou sayest. And immediately while he yet spake, the cock crew.
See, that was to let him know the question of asking him 3 times, do you love me?
Verse 61, here we go.
Go ahead.
And the Lord turned and looked upon Peter. And Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice.
See, the same amount of times that I asked you that you love me and you got irritated with that, I'm going to ask you these things again. Do you truly love me? Because you can't put yourself in a position to feed my sheep if you dead. And the Romans going to kill you. Because they're going to kill me first. It's already written. Man, that's swore they're going to take on this army of the Romans. They had Barabbas locked up. And he was a Roman killer. They had him in chains. Let's get about that friend that asked him, we called him back. John 19:27. And y'all see who that disciple was that loved him and the charge that he was given. And y'all gonna see a charge here, y'all. Something that when you see a God's son, this is what we talk about. A God's son. Just someone. Hit that John 19:27. What we reading that Luke? How far we go there? Luke 22.
54 through 61.
Went to 61. Y'all, we out of here, y'all. Got the last 2 of y'all. Just hit that John 19:27 for us. Who got it?
The book of John, chapter 19, verse 27.
What is that?
Then saith he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home.
He said, Behold that disciple. And who was that disciple? John. That's the one that he put his mother in the hands of. Y'all understand this? This is mom. Which one of y'all will put y'all mamas? You know they finna put you down. Man, look out for my mama. Now, we can probably say that today, but who you truly gonna put in that position that you know gonna take care of your mother like you would have took care of her if you still around? He didn't put it in the hands of Peter. He put it in the hands of that disciple who loved. And read what he said. What he say? No. Mother, thy son. Is that enough?
Flip the axe.
Yeah, with the axe already. Well, y'all read the rest of that, and you'll see he told her, John, my mother, this your son. Don't even sweat it. You ain't left alone. What he's gonna do, the earthly things he's gonna do is like I'm still here. He's gonna fill that void for you. Yes, I got to go. But he's going to fill that void till I come back again. He's going to be like the son. He's just your son from a different mother. So, y'all, we understand that guardianship that put in his hand. Now, he would have killed anybody that would have came close to his mother, but he couldn't do it for Peter because Peter was a hothead. Peter would have got himself locked up, and so what was going to happen to his mom? What are you going to be just shaking the balls? You tell me what's in it, better leave alone if I get out of here. If you get out of here.
Right. If you get out.
How you going to rule your household from the penitentiary? You tell that boy, I say when I get out of here, I'm going to show him what a real man is. And he said, I'll be on Social Security when you get out of here. How you going to give orders from the king? Acts 13:22, y'all. Close out here.
Acts chapter 13, verse 22.
Even though all David needs at his heart, Abraham, and the Lord visited Abraham and talked with him and dined with him. And that's why when that angels came, the first two came, and then the Lord showed up in three angels. One was Christ. That Abraham was discussing, should he destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. He sent the other two angels on to do the work. And he stayed in communion with Abraham. And Abraham knew Lot was in Sodom and Gomorrah. He said, will you destroy it if it's 50 righteous in there? He said, if it's 50, I won't destroy it. Abraham said 40. He said, I won't destroy it. 30. I won't destroy it. 20. I won't destroy it. 10. I won't destroy it. He knew that Lot, his wife, and his 4 daughters was there. He couldn't say if it's 5 righteous because now that's beneath the number of his children, his nephew and his children that was there. All Abraham could do at that point is say the whole lot of Sodom and Gomorrah is wicked up to not more than 10 people. Y'all think about how much wickedness was in the world and was headed for us that there's only, how many people get on the ark?
8.
How many come out of Sodom and Gomorrah? 6. Y'all got to understand, y'all, when we don't get on the page, we ain't coming out. Go ahead, read that for me. Y'all go get out of there because Short is back.
Acts chapter 13, verse 22.
Yes, sir.
And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king.
To be their what?
King. To whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will.
David had a mind after his own what? Heart. They was like-minded, so to speak, because your heart is your mind first. Then it goes here. But you have to think straight. You can't think with this first. This will drive you to foolish thoughts. Because if you put your love here first before here, it's going to be a problem. It's backwards. So it said David, a mind, like-minded thinking. Even though David sinned, he never turned his back on the Lord, ever. Never like Saul did, and went to serve another god. Saul went to a soothsayer. A couple other kings went to different gods. But David never turned his back, took his punishment like a man. And his mind was like the Messiah that he mentioned. We are like-minded individuals. Y'all know what I'm saying? This to this. If you got a friend, he has to be like-minded for you to call him a friend. I know how bad we want all Israel to come together, but if we're not like what? Minded. We can't be friends. How you gonna be a friend with somebody that say Christ is a sinner? No, he's not. He's got some blemishes too. The New Testament got some blemishes in it. How can you be a friend with that? It's unstable, ain't it? So you're asking me to trust what you don't trust. Or are you telling me that only the scriptures that I go to are the righteous ones, and the ones that you go to, I'll say the Romans put that in there. You can't be a friend with that, y'all. It's like-minded. It's all or nothing with this. Either you in or you ain't. Either you in from Genesis to Revelation, or you ain't. How you gonna convince me that it's tampered with and you believe it? I mean, you don't believe it all the way, but you're trying to convince me. And then I got to go to tell somebody, well, man, I'm trying to bring you the good news of the Lord, but just some of it ain't right. It's like that collard greens with a ham hock in it big as a football. Do you think if you scoop all of the ham hock out, the greens is any better?